Welcome back, everybody. It's Creative Redemption back again. The one known as CR, like it says on your screen. And I'm gonna add this in too while I'm at it. Yes. It's CR time. I'll just leave that on the screen. So I would appreciate some thumbs ups and all that good stuff like usual. And yes, I have some things ready for this stream. As I also pencil in some other things here. Why not? Let me just move that to the bottom corner more. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Hopefully my chat's actually working, right? That'd be nice too. So I'll type stuff again in the side chat. Just to make sure my chat's working here. Hey, and maybe this will make an appearance too. Alright? Like, hello, Verna. How are you doing? Hey, Grace. Look, thank you. I appreciate both of you dropping by. Nice to see you both. You know, I still gotta learn how to play this, right? I'm still trying to learn how to play it. I've had it for a while. Someone told me it's like I was like, how do you play this harmonica? They're like, just sing into the harmonica, right? I'm like, what? Sing into the harmonica? So if I was saying my intro, I'd be like, like, is that supposed to sound like, welcome back, everybody? Oh, I bet. I'm not, I mean, it's a musical instrument, right? And it's like, I'm pretty sure people don't learn how to play, like, guitar, violin, piano right away, right? I mean, like, you need the hands for piano, right? You gotta be able to reach the keys, right? People that have longer fingers, unlike me, that don't have long hands, right? Yes. I'll just randomly put that on the screen. Why not? Why not, right? Oh, look who's back! Hey, look, Verna, it's CB. She's here. CB, look who's here! It's Verna. I haven't had both of you up on my screen here for a while. At least together, anyways. Now I'm trying to remember here if I remember. Are you? I think if I remember right from this morning, Verna, you feeling better from this morning? If I remember right, it's still early in the morning. I'm trying to remember that, but you feeling better? Well, physically better, anyways. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Good lips and tricks to breathing. Well, clearly I need to catch my breath and, like, practice on that a little bit more. Yeah, see, I did remember, right? Even though I was only there for half an hour or so, I did remember that, Verna. Of course I remember that. What was it? I think the wrist, right? If I'm remembering, I'm trying to remember. Don't quote me on that. Remember, it's been like 12 hours. You know, give me some credit here. Give me some credit. Right? You know, give me some credit here. I swear, I knew it. I knew this guy would show up. I just like, he even wrote it in the way that I would write it. Look who's here, it's Nick. Oh, do you, Berna? Oh. I kind of like how someone's messaging me over on Google Meet right now. They don't realize that I'm live. Apparently. Maybe they'll show up. That would be hilarious. Yes, what's up, Nick? I know he's in the nick of time again. I know. This would be like the third time I've like seen him today. Third time. Maybe fourth if I count last night. At this time here. Like literally, I was live 24 hours ago. I decided to come back. Why not? I have some time anyways, right? I appreciate everyone covering my 6 on it. Right? Yeah, that's one of the ones that I used, right? Where's my camera here? Right here? Yeah. So, as I weave this in and out of the frame. Yeah, as you could see, something happened to this one. Because it's synthetic? Yeah, something happened to this one, by the way. Let's just say it got a little warmer than I thought it would. It was just kind of like, oops. It's stuck together. It's actually melted together, by the way. Yeah, so you can see the warp lines I have in there. Yeah. I was so like wanting to have spring show up that I melted the wrong thing. I just wanted spring to show up. I'm like, oops, I melted the wrong thing. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look who it is, Berna. Second star. What's up, Matt? Virtual fist bump to you, man. I appreciate everyone penciling in some time for me, by the way. You know, originally I wasn't done doing this stream, but I'm like, I changed my mind, and look. I get to see this guy right here. Straight up, this guy right here. I know, he's here. I like literally, like, I'm like, look who's here, right? How are you doing, man? Tell the wife I said hi. Virtual fist bump. Right? So I randomly have this right now. Hey, you know what I was thinking? Maybe I should actually do something with it. And yes, this is exactly what you would expect me to do, right? And yes, this is exactly what you think it is. Yeah, I know. Because I haven't been able to notice you around, and you haven't been live too either for a while, so. But I appreciate you dropping by, man. You know, I appreciate that. Yes, I was actually thinking of doing something with this. Like, not exactly right now, but I've been thinking about it. It's been growing on me a little. I'll just randomly put that on the screen. You know, like, I saw some other people on my previous live stream show up. I'm like, oh, look at that, look who showed up. Right? So now I'm kind of glad I decided to do this stream. It was worth it just to see Second Star. That's like, if nothing else happens, it was worth it just to see him show up in my stream. It was worth it just for that reason. It was worth it for that reason. Oh, I appreciate it. Hey, you know what? I got a stage prop for you, man. Hey, look, I got a stage prop for you, man. Look, I got a stage prop for you. I don't know about that, Nick. Oh yeah, Myrna, it's like almost midnight out east. I know, see, I see, stage prop. I got the stage prop ready. I've been waiting for this whole time for him to show up. It's like, he's gotta show up. I gotta show the star to him. Another glowing example of some stage props I have laying around. Actually, to be honest, man, I actually do use that. By the way, it actually sits on my lamp. It's taped to the top of my lamp right now because it glows in the dark. I've had that for quite a long period of time. I've actually had that before I even started specifically this channel. So I've had it for a long time. Yeah. Carve a spoon. Yeah. But it's straight though. Like look at this. It's straight. Maybe I should just carve a fork, right? Alright. Because I've been figuring. Hi, Howie. I know Howie knows what this is. You guys know you guys must know what this is. I'm waiting for someone to guess. I will see if anyone knows. Yes. Like I said earlier, I'm still trying to learn how to play this, by the way. See? That's actually a B, not a D, by the way. Ah, see? That's how good he is. That's how good this guy is, man. He just looks at it and just knows what it is. He can identify it easily, alright? This will be the guy that you want helping you foraging for, like, wild edibles and stuff like that. You'd be like, ACR, you know what that is? I'll be like, no, what is it? It's XYZ, right? He would start describing it to me. But yes, it is dried, alright, and kind of. I'm actually surprised how flat it is, relatively speaking. I mean, obviously it was wider than this, but I'm actually been considering on making some stuff with this. Ever since I started to grow the sunflowers more frequently, I've been actually discovering some other uses for them. I still gotta put this video together about it. Right? It'll be a week. Like I said to Verna, like I said to someone else, right, over on his stream and such, like, I feel like I have, like, 10 reasons to grow sunflower. At least. I'm growing a list of it right now. Although some people have given me some ideas. I think I have another idea that would work. Oh, it's day 2? What? For real? What up? What up? Virtual fist bump to you. How are you doing, man? now I'm freaking fired up. Oh, and I got sunflower in here too. That's kind of funny. Speak of it, right? Speak of her. I can't believe that. That was so funny. Look at that segue right there. Oh, yeah, I see. I know exactly. I know exactly why you guys are here. I can tell. Because you're covering my 6. I'm just hanging out with you guys, right? Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen Dean around in a long time, man. Oh, yeah, we got a full party. A full house, right? A full house, aces over kings, or something along the lines of that. And a random dog from Howie. Right. I appreciate everyone dropping by the way. Yeah. Oh, yeah. For anyone that hasn't seen my last couple of live streams, I purposely added this outdoor content in during those live streams, specifically to show everyone during real time. So, yeah. Maybe I'll show back outside, but I'm kind of dry. It's kind of dry outside. Like, it looks totally different from like yesterday at this time for me. You're a queen? Okay. You're a queen? I mean, I can bring a deck of cards out, and if I can bring a deck of cards. Actually, you know what? I have them nearby. Hold on. Have to go find it, but yeah. I was like, maybe I should just bring up a deck of cards here. Do some magic tricks, right? pull an ace out of my sleeve randomly. Oh, dang. Hopefully everything's good for you, Second Star. Yeah. So, yeah. I've been trying to come up with some more reasons to grow sunflower, right? That would actually be useful. Alright. I mean, for anyone that grows anything like that, yeah, there's obvious things. You will see, right? There's some obvious things, then there's some less obvious things. And there's some other things I randomly found out that I could use it for. Like, I actually showed someone around here, they were laughing. Not because it was, like, funny or stupid or whatever, just because it was the way I was using it. Once I'll see how much of it I can get on video or whatever. Once I actually do the video, it'll be part of the B-roll that I'll roll in while I'm recording that video, but yeah. Because I do actually have a few things. I mentioned it to some people, although I haven't mentioned the whole list to everyone else. It's growing, that list is growing. It's growing as tall as the sunflower, like, if the sunflower is like 7 feet tall, well, or what, 10 feet, well, I actually have like one reason per foot to grow them. Alright, that's why I brought this back in, right, just because. See, now I feel like I should go get a deck of cards randomly. Alright, just pull out some queens or something like that. Alright. Pick a card, any card, right? But, yeah. There's some things I've been trying to do lately. Right. I'm not gonna show it, because it'll be part of the video for later on. Let me just move this out of the frame here. Yes, I have a stand over here. I've been working on some things. I'm not gonna show it all the way, because I have it labeled, but yeah. I've shown that tin before. You might not have even seen this before, this tin. And I'm pretty sure I have not shown this as part of something else I have, but let's just say I hope to pencil that in soon. It's now a staple in my things that I have. Alright, you see my point of it? It's just something I have. I think I'm pretty sure I've shown, I might have shown parts of this. I'm trying to remember which. Without totally showing it, but yes, see? This tin right here. Hopefully this will measure up once I actually show it. Oh, wait. You know what I just read right here? I didn't even realize. Like, look at that right there. 4 poles equal 1 chain. 10 chains equal 1 furlong. Like, who uses those kind of measurements? Who uses that kind of measurement? I don't even know who uses that kind of measurement. Right, but yes. But yeah, since I had these, I decided to try to make something out of it. Still putting it together right here. And yes, there is some stuff in here. I'm slowly putting it together here. Some useful items here. There might be a few. There might be something I want to do with this. I'm not sure yet. Like I said, I have stuff in here. I definitely have stuff in this. I won't show the label that I have with this, because I've labeled it. But yes, I have things in here. I've been trying to put it together for a while. Actually, I just put it together the other day, but like last week. But the one I just showed, but the first one I've had for a little bit. Something I've been working on. in my creation mode time with me. Alright? Because I've been actually, like, putting some stuff together. I've been putting some stuff together. So if you're watching this live stream, you're gonna sneak peek on a few things. Like this. I know you guys are like, hey Sierra, what's that, man? Well, just to kind of, if I remember right. Yeah. Hey, hold on. Let's see if I can actually do this. Let's see if I can actually pull this out. Wait. Look, no hands. So that should clearly indicate what's there right now. Yeah, see. So I've actually had this for a while. It's one of these things I use every so often. I just have it on the side right here. So like, just a small little kind of thing I've been working on. Perhaps I will do a video on this soon. You know, it's got some useful items in here. But there's a reason why you see it quite like this. I know. And they're shining example of what I can do at times. Like this container right here. Many of you probably have never even seen one. Let alone seen it on my own videos. But you'll have to wait for it. Because I still have to put it... I still have to kind of make a video on it. Among some other things that I have here. Like... yeah, see? I wasn't kidding about this. Yes, Sunflower. She knows about this. Because she saw a sneak peek of it. She was one of the first people that I shared it with. So. Give me 1 sec. Just have something on the side. Just don't have it sit here. Because actually talking dries out my mouth all the time when I do these live streams or videos. I gotta be like drinking something. Alright. Yep. So yes. I actually did something to this. By accident. Because I was trying something out. And you're probably like, how'd you do that, CR? Where did I just put on? Oh, here it is. If you're wondering how that happened, well, let's say, yeah, that's how it happened. Yeah, I kind of got burned on it, by it, just a tad. I was trying something else. And I realized, yeah, that was a little too much input in there. A little bit too much input in there. I was trying it out, right? I didn't realize how much. Yeah, that was a little too much heat. Just a tad too much. Right? Because this is synthetic, not wool. It's not like what I have here, right? That's wool. When I was using this, it didn't matter so much, but yeah. As soon as I used this, I was like, no. So, in fact, the next time I try to do a weave, I'll see if I can make a wool version. But I don't have enough wool yarn to make a full, right? Because the square doesn't look like there's not much in there, but there's a lot of yarn or line in it. Like, it's probably, let's say, I don't know, 25 feet in the square alone. Alright? And that doesn't include the warp lines that I have in there that hold the grid together and stuff like that. So like I said, I'm still trying to learn how to play this. Yeah. Like I said, someone said to me, "Oh yeah, just speak into it or sing into it," right? Like, I've mentioned this before, right? I used to do karaoke a while back. I haven't done it for a while, right? You know, I think actually the last time I did karaoke was in a country bar, like literally a country bar because it was in the country, right? And it was a bar, not a country bar, but literally a country bar. I was hanging out with some friends. And spending time with them, right, and stuff like that. They never heard me sing karaoke before, right? my my friend's like, he's like, CR dude, you're like, I'm like, he was saying it to me. I think he was kind of drunk, but he's like, dude, you're a legend around here now, right? I'm like, dude, are you drunk? He's like, yeah, just a tad here, but I'm still good, but I mean it though, right? I was just like, okay. The truth does come out. Times as they say, right? So yes, uh, there's good times. Although I haven't done that for a while, because I kind of gave some of I gave some of it up, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I could have an adult beverage if I really wanted to. I just kind of don't feel like it. I mean, the last one I had was back in like August of last year. That's the last time I even had one, and that was the only one I actually had for 2025. Haven't touched anything like that for a long time now. Alright, I mean, like, I got a bottle right here. I'm not gonna show it, but all the way, but you'll get the idea. See? Alright? I'll just show that part. You know? Yes, it starts with an H. Right. I had this stuff before. Right. I just don't really care for it right now. That kind of thing, right? And that's why lately I've been like missing karaoke lately, but I don't miss their aspects of it, right? So yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I could have it right now from where I want to. I just don't feel it, right? It's not the same. I've realized more and more like the bar scene and all that stuff. It's not that I didn't enjoy it or whatever, but I enjoy the social aspect of it, right? I think that's why the karaoke was always there, right? But I miss karaoke, but I don't miss their aspect of it so much, right? So like, I've been thinking, I'm like, at times, right, it'd be like a Friday or Saturday, I'm like, oh, I kind of want to, right? I kind of want to go sing for some moment or whatever, right? And go from there, but I'm like, you know, like even right now, right? So yes. And yes, by the way, oh, you like cherry cider? Hmm. I'm pretty sure I would enjoy that too, Howie. And not just because what it is, but just because it's got a bunch of CRs in there. I probably would enjoy that too. Right? I guess this is supposed to be my CR time, so I guess I can mention that all the time. You know? Just randomly put this on screen too while I'm at it. But yeah, I mean, there is some... I've been picking up some ideas amongst some other things, right? To keep my mind sharp. Keep my mind sharp and ready. And trying to find some other uses for some items, too. The best that I can. I mean... Like I said, like even, like I've shown this before, right? This is just reused items. Alright? Piece of thin or metal. It was kind of flexible to a certain degree, right? what you see here, I've shown before, Reclaim Friend. This is reflective, actually. Well, yeah, it is reflective. I mean, if I shine a different light source on here, like, just on turn off my light for a sec here that I'm using. I'll show you guys real quick. But I see, using my blue light here. See, it stands out. Ooh, right? Anyways, let me turn my overhead lamp back on. That's actually why I made it like that, so it would stand out. Although I've been thinking of considering on making another one. Is it, Howie? Nice. I've been considering on making another one, actually. Like, I've actually found different uses for this. I've shown this in video several times now. Several times. You know? Like I said before, I've actually solar engraved that. Right? That's burnt on. Those glitters are burnt on. I tried to add some glitter in there, but it's kind of fading out a little, but at least the crate's still in there. Right? So that's like not like a permanent marker. That's burnt on. Right? Using a magnification lens to engrave the letters right into it. into the wood here. I mean, like, I got, like, I think that's nail polish. I think so, anyways. I'm trying to remember what I put on the back. I put something on the back. But, like I said, I mean, of all the tools I've, like, used and made, I mean, like, this has been quite useful for me. And I've been able to do so much more with it, pun intended. Alright? It helped me create something. And indirectly helped me in the wintertime. Via something I make. Right? I've shown it before. And stuff like that. So I'm just like, yeah. Just have a sip here. And no, I'm not drinking any adult beverages. Even though I talked about it. I haven't had one for a while. And I still don't want one right now anyways. Not in the mood. It doesn't feel like the right time anyways. Alright. Really? Really, Nick? You had to do that? Okay. It's a little bit different, but okay. You know what? I will show you guys something. Hold on. Here. Hold on. So, I've been thinking of... There is something people have been asking me for a while. And second star, you're here. I know you've asked me before, too. I know some other people have asked me. Alright. People have been asking me. I know the one thing. Do what you can do. There is something that people have been asking me for a while. I've been hesitant about it. Or as second star would say, no one knows. Or as I told him later. No, that's not true. Some people know. Some people will know. And maybe eventually soon I'll share it. I will say one thing. It is in my channel name. It is in my channel name. It is in there. Because people have asked me. So perhaps it will make an appearance soon. I don't know when. Like, keep your eyes peeled. Perhaps I will divulge it. Divulge it. I swear I just said that wrong, but you know what I mean. Maybe I'll say it eventually soon. But I'll still always be known I'll still be known as the one as CR. Yes, that's how I go. And besides, I notice a lot of CR things when I'm like out and about at times. Because remember, I was the one that started this channel, right? Right? This right here, right? I see it all the time, right? Like when I'm editing, like right now, I see it on my screen, right? So I notice those CR words all the time and like randomly, right? And not just creativity amongst more similar words along the lines of that, right? But other words too at times, right? And I actually add them in, right? I've started to try to add them into my CR vocabulary. Hopefully, I'll cover more of them, right? You know, to help me tie together some of this content, right? Like this cordage that I randomly have. Yes, right? And tie some of this content together, right? There is some other stuff too, like I haven't shown yet, but that I've practiced with, like in terms of sewing and stuff like that, right? I'm not sure if I've shown a person yet, but it's sitting deep in my closet right now, so I'm not gonna get it, but something else that has cedar on it, like I actually put it there, right? So I purposely made this as a stage prop when I was originally doing this. Like, this is a flex, like, wire, right? I can bend this into any... Alright? I just kind of bent it into a CR. Let me just... There we go. Right? I actually wrapped it with some reflective line. Actually... If I remember right, it actually came from a reflective vest. This is actually that same yellowish material, reflective material. Just wrapped around it, right? So, like... You know how, like, someone like MacGyver would be, like, messing around with, like a paperclip or whatever? I'd be doing something like this, right? I'd be like... Okay, it's not quite a heart. It's more like a circle, but... Okay, here, let me... Okay, now it looks more like a heart. But I'm gonna bend this back into the CR. Because that's where I'm at right now. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Ran away. Okay, there we go. Let's leave that right... Oh, wait. Let me extend the C out a little bit here so it looks more like it. Okay, there we go. There we go. But like on a serious note, like something like this, I've been actually considering on making something out of these. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe I can add one more thing I can use with the sunflower for. Now that I think about it. Yeah, now that I think about it, maybe I will add that. Maybe I will add that as an option or an example of something you can use it for. Excuse me. Yeah, but it's flat. I mean, usually a spoon has some sort of curve for the spoon part, right? I guess I can always make a fork, right? Right? I guess I could always make a fork. Or some rudimentary type of chopsticks. If this was longer, right? Maybe I can make some random chopsticks, right? You know, well, I'll say this is not chopsticks, but like make some rudimentary type of chopsticks with it. Alright? So I can pick up something. Or drop it. But yeah, perhaps. Perhaps. I don't know, maybe I can add that in too, Howie. I know Nick said that earlier too about the spoon. It's probably possible. Although, if I'm not see, these ideas I'm coming up with, right? I don't want to just mention them on the video. I want to show an example, an actual real world example of either using it or making something with it, right? This is what that content is taking a lot longer for me. Because I need some B-roll to come to add it in, right? I don't want to just be like, hey, here's a list. Here, I'm putting the camera. Here's a list, right? I'm pretty sure some people want to see some examples, right? Some visuals, some real world examples of it, or maybe me using it for XYZ thing, right? I mean, and it would be more than, oh, hey, doing it just for the seeds, for example, right? That's, or something like that. And not just microgreens or something like that. If you want, those are the kind of clear examples that anyone can think of, right? I'm talking about, like, outside the box thinking of it, right? Such as, like, using this, for example, right? So it's all-inclusive. I mean, there are some other things I've considered, but I need to actually try them out and see if they're even viable as an option, right? Like, I mentioned a few of them to some other people, but I haven't mentioned the whole list, the whole growing list of things I can do with a sunflower, right? I think I'm at 10 reasons to grow a sunflower, right? They may not be applicable for everyone out there. Actually, I'm pretty sure all of them would not be applicable. Because some of them are very specific circumstances. Hey. That's what, I don't usually use that CR word, circumstances. But I guess the circumstance came for me to use that word. So, yes. See, I'm not hold on. I'm not gonna show my icon. But yeah, see? 45. Remember, that was at 76 when I tried it. So, I'm not gonna run this test again tonight. But, yeah. I was actually trying something out that I've heard about. Like I said in the previous live stream, right? Yeah, see? The light, alright. Alright, decided to try something out. Something I heard about, and I'm like, is that really true? Or is there variables? Like I've heard this, if you use a light source on your phone or whatever, you're only gonna get like 2 or 3 hours before your battery's dead. Alright. I want to see that for myself, right? I'm not saying, like, I'm not, like, walk through the woods with my phone on as the light source and holding it and trying to navigate with just that, but, maybe something like, hey, I got the phone on me, the power went out, and I gotta go use it to find my flashlight because I can't see it, and I don't have a lighter in my pocket, and I know where the flashlight, the headlamps are, but I just gotta get to it because I'm in their room or in the washroom, in their room or whatever, right? Like, usually I would have, like, solar lights running, right? Like this one right here, see? Solar lights running and stuff like that. Usually I would have them running. I mean, they're actually sitting right beside me, right? So, like, even if the power went out right at the second, I'd be like, well, I know where these are because they're, like, right next to me. Like, literally right next to me right now, right? And something like that. But I'm just saying, like, because I realized, like, I might need the phone to go find some sort of lights out kit or something like that, right? Or something along the lines of that. Because, like, I know it's convenient, right? It's convenient because it's with you, right? But, you know, because I also realized, like, the amount of light that I'm getting out, right? Because usually they're meant for, like, the light on your phone is used to help with the flash, right? If you're taking a picture in the dark or whatever, right? Take care, Howie. I'll see you around. Take care, man. Yes. Take care. You know, I need to add an A and an E in there somehow. Somehow I'll add an E and an A in there. Maybe put a heart in there. Alright, something I want to try out. I mean, I just made something like this for fun, right? This was always supposed to be a stage prop. Right, and I just have it around. Because people have asked me, it's like, what's that? I'm like, oh, it's just a stage prop I use over on YT, right? Or what, on some of the videos. They're like, what's it for? I'm like, it's just something I have. Right? It's just something I have. And like some other things, right? I wish, you know what? I will show you guys something. Something. I explained this earlier on my previous live stream I did earlier in the day, but I actually have, like, rechargeable batteries that are so old that the company, the original store, does not exist anymore. That's, like, how old it is. Like, if you look this up, you'll be like, oh, that's old. Right? Like, I told my friend that knows about this, right? He's like, wow, really, Sierra? He's like, yeah. Right? I don't know how it's still going, how it's still charging up, but it is, right? See? Hold on here. AAA nickel metal hydride rechargeable battery, right? And yes, it does work. Right. See, it does work. I don't even know how it's still going. Like, usually these, like, don't get me wrong, I have some double A's that are branded the same, right, that have stopped working, but I'm like, I don't know how these triple A's are still going for it. I don't know how. Because usually they have a limited amount of recharge cycles, however many, 500, whatever, right? But I was just like, really? it's still going? And, like, I look, like, I'm gonna go, I'll bring my multimeter, on the screen here, right? And I'll use it, alright? Let me turn this on. Okay. I mean, obviously it's not fully charged, but I mean, it's over 1 volt. So, until it stops working, right? Until it stops accepting a charge. Until then, I'll keep using it, alright? I just have a battery adapter because the solar lights I use are meant for AA, not AAA, so I need an adapter to kind of bridge the connector, right? Because obviously AAA is shorter than a AA. Oops. Like this was actually the actual battery that the Solar Lights came with. No, sorry, correction. This was the actual original battery that they came with, right? I've actually used them for a while now. How long has it been? Let's see, it's March of 2026. I think I've had them for since about 2022, 2023, so a couple years already, right? And I use these quite frequently, to be honest. So I tried to remember here. I think they're like, oh yeah, they're 1,000. Right, they're. And they're 1,000 milliamps, 1.2 volts. All right. I've had them for a bit. I've used them for a little bit. Like usually I would, on a given day or night or whatever, right? I would have something like this in a washroom or something like that. It's kind of nice, actually. Because when I get up to use the washroom at night, right? It's just enough light to see, but not so strong that it, like, blinding light. You know when you just wake up or you gotta use the washer and you get that blaring light in your face, right? It just totally, like, wakes you up. It's like, oh, and you're squinting and it's just like, right? It's harder to get back to sleep afterwards, but you had to get up because you had to use the restroom or whatever, or use the washroom, right? So that's why I have something like this now. It's quite nice. And I don't have, I don't have to be like, where's the light switch? No, I've reset it up, right? Some people have seen parts of that. Some people have seen parts of it. I've shared it with some people out there. Although I think they already left the stream. That's all good. Wait, I'm not gonna turn it all back on, but this be facing down, right? It'd be like this, right? Be able to see what I'm doing. It's bright enough. It's bright enough that I can see within there what I'm doing, right? And, not miss. Right? Right? Because no one likes when a guy misses, right? Right, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, right? I got some other light sources too, if I need to dip into them. So it's this one right here. One of the battery banks I have. Obviously, it's not that bright because I'm using a light source right now to pretty bright light for the stream itself. But, this one right here that I have. See, it's got a strobe or a flash kind of thing. I've had this for a little bit. It's one of those adjustable ones. Alright, right here. I have. Telescopic, I guess you would call it. Alright, right there. Oh, well, you can't. Yeah, see. To magnify that focus, to focus it, right, into more of a point or a dot instead of being wide, right? Alright, well, you can't really see it, but something like that. I kind of like this one. I've had it for a little bit. I'm actually surprised how bright it is still relatively compared to some other things that I've had now. Right? I mean, I have my stream light in my pocket right now, right? I mean, or randomly drop it out of my pocket randomly. Oops. Right. I mean, you can see the difference, right? Alright. But this one allows me to have more of a floodlight. My stream light was always more focused. I have used this several times, you know, right? I've shown this several times in videos, several times in live streams, right? I'm actually working on updating it with something else. With something else. Yep, I miss the softness of incandescent lights when you wake up. LEDs are very bright on an empty stomach. Yeah, yeah. This is like I kind of like using it because it's just like it's just enough, and I can get back to sleep after. And it doesn't like it'll still kind of run your night vision to a certain degree because it's still bright, but it's not as bright as like what this light, or as bright as the main source of lighting that I have within that washroom. It's just enough to see, not make a mess, and not trip over anything, and be able to see the ground and not miss. Keyword there, not miss. That is the keyword. You could smile right there, right? That's the keyword right there, right? Not miss. Right? Because excuse me. One of the rare reasons why I like these is because I've been able to recharge some, not just the standard AA that it comes with, right? I'm able to charge up AAA batteries using an adapter just to bridge the connection, right? Or the distance of the connector, right? So I'm able to recharge some batteries. Yeah, I got a bunch of AAAs right here. Oh, yeah. Bunch right here, right? These are all charged up. Well, at least most of them, 4 of them, were charged via solar. Alright? Because specifically this week, because I've been able to see some sun, so I'm just like utilizing that solar energy, that sunshine, right? Especially on a bright sunny day, right? Because sometimes I'm not like, because this is a 4-pack of this, I don't always use all of them at once, right? So sometimes the next let's say it's Saturday, right? Let's just say next 4 or 5 days is, oh hey, see here, it's gonna be perfectly sunny and clear for 4 days straight, right? No clouds or whatever, right? Most of the time, unless I'm using up all that power, right? I'll probably have power for the next day, right? Still, because I didn't use, let's say, this battery. I didn't use this one, but I used this other one, this green one, right? So this one, oh, I used it up. It's dead, right? Well, this one still has to charge. I'll charge up this one the next time, but this is still full, which means that because I have another one, right? So I figured now I might as well top off some air batteries I have, right? These rechargeable batteries I have that I would use for like flashlights, torches, if you guys live in other places, which is also called that, right? And headlamps and such, and other little things, right? Like if I brought something like this camping, yeah, don't miss, yeah. If I brought something like this camping, I could just, well, maybe more of them if I want to, right? Depending on the conditions, right? If I'm expecting, let's say, sunshine the whole time, right? Like the forecast says, say, it's gonna be sunny, right? It's gonna be sunny and hot, 30 Celsius, blah, 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 or something like that, 86 Fahrenheit for you guys in the US, right? Sunshine or whatever, right? I could just bring something like that. Because usually when I'm going camping, for example, I'll bring either rechargeable type lights or the system, like if I brought a flashlight, like my stream light, for example, right here, right? It has a rechargeable battery in it, right? Oh actually show. I'll keep you guys in the loop on what I'm doing here. Alright? Yeah. Alright? Keep you guys in the loop. Yeah. You see how I'm ending it? Get it? Right? But like something like this, right? I could just pop it into this with an adapter and top it back off, right? Use it at night, charge it the next day kind of deal, right? Providing I actually bring something like this. I have something else I can use, but it's not solar. It's meant for USB, right? Something I can put in a battery bank, for example, right? So it would depend, right? Like, if I'm expecting a lot of rain or cloudy conditions, I might change it. But if I'm expecting, like, let's say 3 or 4 days of sunshine, right, while I'm out camping, I'll be like, you know what I mean? Like, I could bring a rechargeable setup, right? Something along the lines of that. Maybe something else if I really wanted to, right? Like, I don't usually use a lot of single-use batteries. Like, don't get me wrong, I have some. I don't use them that frequently because a lot of time I'm using the rechargeable batteries. Like this. Or this one that I have in my Streamlight right now, right? Pump it in, right? Or those other ones I just showed, right? Like, my Streamlight takes a AAA, right? Those AAAs are charged, so... Oh, this other battery I have with the Streamlight, it's like... it's... Battery's dead. Boom, I can switch it out for a fresh one right away. A fresh rechargeable one that I know I've charged back up, right? Providing it hasn't been that long, right? That it's discharged out. But usually, this is why I maintain that. Alright, I'll maintain the power in it, right? This is why I have a multimeter, so I can actually check it. And be like, okay, it's under 1 volt, I gotta charge it up or whatever. Or, hey, it's at 1.23 volts, right? I'll be like, oh, yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. It'll help me out, right? And bring it on my camping trips or whatever. Like, this Streamlight, you know, I will say this was given to me by a friend of mine, right? I appreciate that from them, right? They gifted it to me, right? That's why it's kind of worn down, right? It doesn't look new, right? I've used it several times now. You know, as an everyday carry type of light, right? It's been very useful for me. Like, yeah, maybe I have the phone with me and use it or whatever, but sometimes it's just nice to have a dedicated light. Because a light on, usually I see a light on, I'm not saying a light on your phone doesn't work, but sometimes I need some focus, right? And because this has a reversible clip on it, I can clip it onto it, like a ball cap or whatever that has, you know? Baseball hat or something along the lines of that, right? I just don't have a hat nearby. But you know what I mean. Because it's got the reversible clip, so I can clip it on this way, right? I don't usually use this part of the clip, right? But I will use this part of the clip, right? And clip it on, right? I mean, I even have some other things I can use it with, too, right? You know? Here, I'll just use this piece of paper as an example, right? It'd be like something like this, right? That's your hat right here, right? Something like this. I've used it before. Because I didn't have a headlamp with me and I needed hands-free, right? It was nice, right? So I didn't have to hold the phone, right? And transfer, right? And stuff like that. Because, you know, and I could get in closer to something too, right? And it's a little bit easier to hold something like this in your hand, trying to hold like a device like a phone in your hand, right? Because the phone has certain, like, you can hold it like this or whatever. It's wider in your hand, right? And stuff like that. And obviously, I can drop this flashlight on the ground and still be good. A phone on the other hand, well, to protect the screen or a case, yeah, right? You know what I mean? And if you crack the display on your phone, usually you have a hard time touching the display, which therefore means that you cannot access the app for the flashlight option, right? And that would just defeat the purpose, right? So that's why I don't like to use a phone for the light source. Like, I've seen people use it. Don't get me wrong. I've seen countless people using it, right? You know, and it's convenient. I get it, right? But sometimes it's nice to have a dedicated light source with you, right? Excuse me. Just reading what Nixon. You've done some. Yeah. I get you. Yeah, I get that too. Like, here, I got them on the side. Right. I mean, I've shown these in video, and I will show these again, providing I can get them out. Alright. Yeah, I mean, you get a little bit more oomph out of lithium. Sorry, I just have to maybe get these out, right? Like, look at it, like, you're talking about something like this, right? Ooh, and they're a shining example of it, right? Let's see. 2030, well, my camera's not focusing. 2038, right? I mean, bring the multimeter back in. I've already shown this, right? And of course, you know, it won't recharge it, but just put it in. Yeah, it'll turn it on, right? If I needed to, obviously, right? But turn this back on. I know. Well, I know it's supposed to be like what 1.5, right? Let's see. So now totally full. So that's some charge in it, right? Oh, and by the way, I found this, by the way. I've shown this in the resource hole videos. I'm pretty sure this is the same one, right? Yeah, this is the same one. This is why it doesn't look new. Like there's like, I wouldn't say teeth marks, but there's like some indentation in this, right? Like, look at this one. Like, the word of one. Look at this one right here. You look at that. Most people, including myself, be like, it's probably got nothing in it, right? It's probably got no power in it, blah, 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 it's dead, blah, 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 all of that stuff, right? Well, don't judge a book by its cover, right? I can't remember how much power is in this one. Let's just take a look, see. And this one's dated, let's see. I'm trying to even see it. December 2041. It's hard to see, sir. You'll have to take my word for it. It's like right here. Let's see how much. Look at that. Look at that. This has more power. Sorry. Than that other one. And I've shown this. And this is one I found, right? I was just like, probably not, right? Usually it's not. But I mean, like, for me, this was a pretty good score in terms of something, right? That's why I don't usually assume, right? Because sometimes you can get lucky, right? Sometimes someone drops it or whatever, right? And besides, it's better that this actually gets used and not just randomly end up at a landfill, right? Especially, like, I just showed you guys with a multimeter, right? This has power on it. I mean, like, I'll even put this in here. Yeah, it's got power, right? So it's still useful. Alright. And I got some other ones too, right? Right? So, I just have them in the container right now. These will be like the backup kind of source, right? Depending what I'm doing. If I really need that runtime, well, I would consider it, right? You know? In addition to some other batteries I have that are both single use or rechargeable, like I've shown, like this one right here. Yeah. That's why I keep my eyes peeled at times, right? Because I've noticed stuff like that at times. I'm just like, well, maybe. I don't know, right? You know, maybe. Because the thing is, like, you saw that anyway. Look how dirty that was. That was like, I think I found that during the winter time. Like, after the snow melted or whatever, right? That's why it's got some dirt on it, right? I'm like, there's no way it's got that much power. It's been, like I've heard in the past, it's like, oh, hey, batteries get wet, it's not discharged. I'll be like, yeah, I can understand that, but I'm like, my multimeter still says it's got power, and it can still run like a solar light like this, for example, alright? Obviously, I can't recharge it, obviously, but I can still use it, alright? Just in case it'd be like, hey, I just ran through all the air disposable batteries I have. All my rechargeable batteries are completely drained too, and I need to see it. It's like, well, I still got that lithium battery, right? It's still good for a little bit of time, right? We'll see. We'll see. Right? That's why I have them. Oh, and speak of which. Alright. You know, if it doesn't have enough power, or, you know, it doesn't recharge, yeah, then it's gone, right? It's gone. It's too far gone then, right? But it's still usable at the moment, right? I would maybe pick what I use it for, you know what I mean? But, yeah, because I've noticed that at times, right? Alright, so that's why I don't usually judge a book by its cover, as they say, alright? Right? Like, even, let's just say it was 2 triple A's, right? I'd be like, I can run that on a remote control, like, let's say for a TV or something like that, or a fan or something like that, right? For long periods of time, if I wanted to, right? Alright? Just for even that reason alone. That kind of thing, right? It would go for a while, right? But usually I use rechargeable batteries a lot of the time, right? So I'll charge them up via solar or whatever, right? A battery bank. Or for the grid power or whatever, right? And this is why I have these other little things like this. Alright? Stuff like that. See? Well, without showing too much here. See? See? Yes. Yeah. No, I get that, right? Obviously, that's why I'm checking, right? I get it. I get about the discharge and stuff like that, right? I get that, right? Like, I get that. It's not gonna be, like, indefinite, but that's why I just checked it again, right? And I actually ran it briefly with a solar light, right? So, like, don't get me wrong, I got another stash of some, right? If I really needed to, right? So, like, I think, like, for example, right? It was some sort of power outage or whatever, right? Extended amount of time, right? Extended amount of, hey, it's gonna be dark, grids down, no lights, and I'm just talking about light source, right? You know, I would dip into those in addition to some of the rechargeable ones I have, right? Depending on the situation, right? You know, like if it's like not much sun, yeah, I might conserve the rechargeable ones, right? Use some of the single use, right? Some of the other ones I have, right? But if I'm getting a lot of sun during that time too, because sometimes a power outage for me sometimes happens in the summertime because of a heat wave, which usually means it's sunny during the day. Right? Usually heat waves involve sunshine, right? To a certain degree, right? Usually there's enough sunshine, right? So, like, as providing that I charge them up, they'll work, alright? But right, like, kind of like, let's say if it was during, like, on the opposite side of the spectrum, like, winter or whatever, it'd be like, well, I'm not getting that much solar
energy, right? Because the amount of daylight's low at that time, especially around November, December, and January, February, right? During October and February and March, right? It's still in September. It's kind of equinox time still, right? So still maybe about 10 hours of daylight, but during that on the winter solstice night, I'll be like getting like 16 hours a night of darkness, right? So I need enough to keep going with it, right? If I needed it, and that's why I have it. I have options, right? Not just one or the other, right? I have something I can maintain rechargeable solar, battery bank, whatever, right? And then I have something single use if for some reason I can't recharge these, right? I've used up all the power on the rechargeable batteries. All, however many I have, right? 16, 20, whatever it is, right? And I don't have any other source, right? Oh, and I've already ran the lights down on some of the air lights that I have, like this one. Oh, I've used up the power on that. Is there a device that has a light function on it? Oh, I've used the power up on that, right? Well, then I would dip into something like that. The single use, right? And then maybe if it really came down to it, maybe I'll use that lithium if I needed to, depending on what's going down, right? What's going on, right? In the winter, maybe I would dip into that, maybe, right? If I had to, right? Because I know they can handle cold a little bit better than some of these other ones I have. Although I've had my Streamlight cold in my pocket before, right? I was still able to get something, but it's sitting in my pocket. It's not like sitting outside the whole time or exposed to the cold all the time, right? Usually it's in my pocket, right? Inside pocket or something like that. You know, with my keys and stuff like that I have, right? Keys. Right? Keys, right? Not to toot my own whistle here. Toot toot. And that don't blow it hard, but you know what I mean. Yeah. And yes, I've shown this in the resource hole. Yeah. Yes. I've been rocking this as an EDC item, everyday carry. This S carabiner that's Night Eyes branded, right? Right, non-locking, non-weight bearing, and all that stuff, right? I've been using it for a little bit. I like the clip on it actually. I like the double-sided clip on it. It's quite nice. I mean, it doesn't lock or whatever. It's a very small one, but I just have it on there. It doesn't weigh that much, so I don't mind it, right? I could always clip it into my pocket or whatever, right? I mean, I have other options too. I'm not gonna show on screen, but like I have some other options that I've added in. I've actually added in one additional EDC item to give me a little bit more capability if necessary, right? But it doesn't weigh down my pocket too much. Like I'm not a big fan of like only having one key in my pocket because it feels like it doesn't weigh enough or something like that, or I can't feel it in my pocket. Because in the wintertime for me, like I'm always double checking. Like let's say even have zippers or whatever, right? I'm always double checking I have everything, right? Because when you're during the wintertime, you usually wear more clothing, more layers, right? You got gloves on, mittens on, or whatever, right? And you're just like, is it in my pocket, right? Especially if you're EDCing other things, it's like, you know, yeah. I feel the roundness of my Streamlight. Yeah, I can hear my keys. I got them, right? Before I leave or before I stand up or whatever, or leave an area or whatever, right? Or leave, let's say I'm with someone and they're driving me somewhere, right? I don't want to leave my keys in their vehicle, right? And they take off and then, you know, inconvenience them. It's like, yes, sir. Sorry. I think I dropped my keys in your truck, man. Sorry. And they're like already halfway home, and they got to drive all the way back, right? So I'm trying not to do that, right? Inconvenience someone, especially if they just paid for dinner or something like that, right? or for a coffee or something like that. I don't want to inconvenience and be like, right? That's why I'm always securing what I have, right? Making sure that, yeah, I didn't forget that, right? You know? I mean, I guess things happen or whatever, but I try not to do that, right? I'm always like, yeah, I got my keys, right? You know what I mean? Because I don't want to be like, someone drops me off, right? I gotta open my door, right? The keys to get inside, right? And I don't have them with me, and I gotta call them up and wait for them to come back or back, right? I mean, obviously, they just dropped me off, so it wouldn't be that long, but like, you know what I mean? No, but this is why at times when I'm with people and stuff like that, I'm always reminding people just as a courtesy thing, right? Because, you know, sometimes it helps, but I'll be like, hey, you got your keys, right? They're like, yeah, I got my keys, right? You know, that kind of thing. Not because I'm worried, I'm just making sure, right? Just that, hey, it could be one of those instances where I say something and they don't have it, and be like, well, thank goodness I said something, right? It doesn't take me that much effort just to say, hey, you got your keys, right? It's not like I'm wasting my breath, right? Because if it really is important and they really don't have them, they'll be going, oh, hey, thanks for the reminder. I actually don't, right? As a heads up, right? Especially if you're doing a bunch of working around, winter, gardening, doing in and out of a garage, in and out of vehicles and stuff like that. Sometimes it's just like, you know, it's just like saying, hey, you got your phone with you, right? You got your phone, right? Right? That kind of, you got your keys, right? That kind of thing, right? Yes, they can be quite useful. I actually, you know what? Hold on, I'm gonna go get something. I've never even shown, I'm pretty sure I've never shown this on video. Hold on, Nick. I haven't even taken them out of the package because I'm not sure where to put them. Obviously, they'll be branded and all that stuff, right? These are quick links. Like, look at this. Alright? Chain. Like, but look at this right here without showing too much here. Safe working load. 400 kilograms, 880 pounds. Do not exceed, obviously, right? These would be not, well, I wouldn't necessarily, well, they'll be more weight bearing anyways, right? They're still in the package. I think I got this at a yard sale or whatever. I'm trying to remember the price. It's been so long, right? You know, it says, excellent for attaching accessories to chain. Last a long time. Quick links can be reused. Ooh, right? You know, easy to use. Release the thread fastener. Slip the necessary into the chain, blah, 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 and tighten. For best performance, quick links must be closed so that no threads are exposed. Obviously, right? You gotta close your clip or carabiner or whatever, right? Obviously, that's the thing, right? You know? And also, you know, the safety notes that they have, right? Because I was thinking, I'm like, this wouldn't be so bad. I don't know, maybe one of these days I'll add something like this in. I just haven't dedicated this somewhere, right? I'm trying to really remember, like, where I got. I know it's from a yard sale, but I was just like, as soon as I saw that, right, I was like, I don't even think I paid that a couple bucks, probably. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. I've had them for a while, right? But one of the more things it can hold some weight. This is why that interests me, right? And it can screw together or lock, right? You know? Like, I got some other links that actually have, like, a KN. Like, it actually says kilonewtons on it, right? So it's like, it is a weight-bearing type of clip, right? Like, actually, I'll go get one. Hold on. What on, Nick? Yeah, like, I got these other ones there. I'm just trying to make sure which one's which. Because I know this other one I have, is it this? I'm trying to remember which one was which. See, I got some of these other ones too. I know, I'm trying to see the marking on here. Trying to remember where it is on here. Let's see here. Yeah, I've tried that before too for a little bit. I've actually ran that system for a little bit for my Streamlight, but I also as convenient it was, like, because it's always on me kind of deal, harder to lose. It was rubbing the wrong way around my neck at times. Maybe if I used something that wasn't paracord, something like that weapon, maybe it would be better, but I haven't gone back to that system. See, it's kind of hard to see. It's actually, this is right here, right? My camera's probably not gonna focus on that, but it says 2,640 pounds. Probably on the upper limit, right? Right? It says it right here. It's hard to see because I the shadow that I have, but yeah, it says it right here. Oh, yeah, you got the, yeah. Yeah, chain links and stuff like that, right? Yeah. I have something like this too, right? These are definitely gonna be heavier than these guys, right? And also, it's heavier than my S-Beaner that I have my keys, right? You know, but depending on what I'm doing, right? Alright? These would be more weight bearing, alright? If I had to dip into something like this. You know? In comparison to, like, a non-locking, non-weight bearing carabiner, right? That specifically says on package or on the carabiner. Not meant for climbing, right? You know, that kind of stuff, right? Like, I don't know if my S-Beaner actually says that. Probably not. Oh yeah, it does actually say it. Hold on. I don't know if it's gonna pick up my camera. It says it right on there. Not for climbing. It's like kind of hard to read because it's black, but yeah, it actually says it, right? Because when I was originally looking at the stuff, I was just like I was like, hey, is this weight bearing? Alright? Right? I could use it for that reason if I had to, right? You know what I mean? Like something more heavy, a little bit more heavy. You know? Not just, you know, hanging a jacket or backpack, right? A little bit more weight bearing. If I require that. For whatever the reason is, right? You know? It could be, hey, I gotta, like, pull this, like, log out to use, right? That's quite heavy, right? It's definitely heavier than a lot of people, heavier than my backpack, right? Let's see. Hypothetically 500 pounds, right? Like, I would probably want to use something like that. That's weight bearing. Definitely for something like that, or especially if I was using something like cordage or webbing material, right? You know, as a connection point, right? Or maybe something to, like, get a mechanical advantage if I went around on this as, like, a pulley. As a way to redirect the force. Right? Change the direction of the force. No, I'm playing. Oh, you also have those too? Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. That's good, Nick. So. Hold on a sec. Okay. See, now I gotta always make sure to put the stuff away. Or else I'll forget. I'll be like, next thing I'll know, I got like 10,000 things on the table. It's like, oh yeah, the key to preparedness is to stay organized and also put things away after you use them and put them back in the spot that you have them, regardless if they're on a shelf, in your backpack, on the table, in your pocket, in your vehicle, in your carpet, in your bag, in your go bag, and so forth and so forth, right? I gotta make sure I put them back or else I got, it's just like, clean as you were, clean as you cook, that kind of thing, right? Hold on, Nick! I'll be back! Yeah, I mean, I got this other one too that actually has a rating on it in terms of like it says kilonewtons on it, alright? So, like, yeah, it's definitely more rated for weight bearing, anyways, right? And it screw locks in, right? So I would use that if necessary, right? If I'll be like, okay, this is gonna be hundreds and hundreds of pounds kind of thing, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm, trying to like couple bricks in my hands or lift a couple bricks or whatever. I'm like lifting like something heavy, quite heavy, right? And I need to redirect the force because I'm using some sort of rope or cordage that can handle that weight, but I just need to redirect the angle, right? If I was using some cordage that can handle it, right? Or webbing type of material. That's actually one thing I've been like kind of getting more into lately is like these other forms of cordage, alright? And I'm not just talking about, well, I guess I randomly have something on the side of me here. I'm not just talking, well, I guess I can bring it up. Because I randomly have it. And I'm not just randomly talking about, like, cordage that's similar to, like, paracord or whatever, right? I got some other stuff, too. Hard bank line, right? Right? This was actually part of a giveaway that I won. Actually, the last time I participated in the giveaway. Yes. You can see I made a spool for it, right? Nice spool for it. It's twisted, right? Oops. I'm twisting it the wrong way, yeah. Right, you can see the strands in there, right? Made it from a bone. Yes, because the bone's a lightweight, right? Byproduct of something else. I just used it for that reason and I just kind of put some Ranger bands at the end just to kind of hold it. So there would be some ends to it, right? I mean, like, most of the weight is just from the bank line, the hard bank line that I have, alright? The bone doesn't weigh anything, or barely weighs anything, right? Obviously it has some weight, but, Oh, and some other cordage, right? This would be more like some sort of mesa line or whatever, right? I've shown this on video. In the last resource hole video, right? I just have it around a popsicle stick, right? This is also twisted. Alright. Alright. I know this is probably not as durable or resistant to like rot and sunshine compared to the hard bank line, right? And it forms a cordage, right? Like, you look at this. Hold on. The warp lines I have within this weave, yeah, that's that, by the way, right? I remember I found this cordage, right? I brought this back into a useful state when it wasn't neatly nice and neat like this. I had to take a half an hour to untangle it all, right? But is it worth it? Yes, because now I have the cordage for it, right? I've used it already to make something, right? I've actually used it for something else too. I made a lanyard for someone else to use for their own because they had to use it, and because they were using this like really like flimsy type of string, right? I'm just like, don't use that, because if that breaks off, you're gonna regret it, right? So I just pulled a little piece out. I might need. Well, I know it's not this specific one. This other one I have, right? And I went here. This will be a lot more durable. It's a whole lot more. Not just necessarily weight, but it won't necessarily fray, right? Like I said, I'm pretty sure this is like mason line or something like that. I mean, so yeah. Oh yeah, I can understand that, Nick. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. All right. So I got something like this, right? You know, if absolutely necessary. Depending what I'm doing, alright? Depending what I'm doing. Why I need the cordage in the first place, alright? You know, do I need something that can hold more weight? Do I need it to be a certain color so I can see it? Do I need it to resist something because it's gonna be outside for long periods of time, right? That kind of stuff, right? I mean, even webbing type of material too, right? I'm just gonna put it back in my little container that I have that in, right? Oh, you know what? Why not? Let me just roll this out here randomly, right? You know, let's make a fixed loop. I'll keep you guys in the loop, right? Practice this while I'm doing this at the same time, right? Oh. Okay, you didn't see that. That was the practice. That was the practice. We should write that again. Okay. Loop in, over, under, around. Alright, dress it up. And hopefully I did this right. And that should be a fixed loop now. Alright. I think I did this right. I know it's a fixed loop. Well, you know what else I'll do? I'll do this one too. Alright. The Alpine butterfly knot, butterfly loop. Right. There's supposed to be another way of doing this. I know this method of doing this. Right. Another fixed loop. Bypass some, you know, I could cut this in and it would, you know, bypass it, right? Yeah. Let's, you know, pull this together a lot tighter. All right, let's see if I can undo this. Because you're supposed to be able to undo Alpine butterfly loops or knots relatively easily for what it is. All right. I've been watching some videos out there at times where I'm like, you know, oh, you know, paracord, you know, everyone's got paracord, right? And, you know, I know, like, if Grace was still here, she'd be saying, see our bank line, right? Because she likes her bank line, right? I don't have that much of it, right? That's why I don't use it that often, right? Right? But it's supposed to hold knots better because it's got more friction on it because of the hardness, right? It's more not sticky to the touch, but more so things like friction type of things like taut line would be a lot better, right? Stuff like that. I haven't tried the bank line that much in terms of knots and stuff like that, like, you know, like, because sometimes, and of course, it's a lot thinner this bank line's a lot thinner than, let's say, paracord, right? Like, let me roll this out here randomly, right? And anyway, let's see if it can. I'll actually do this. Why not? I'll make a. Let's see. Twice in behind, one in front. Loop this in. Alright. It's kind of hard to notice. It's supposed to be a taut line hitch. Let's tighten this up, right? This is supposed to be pretty good. Alright. That's harder to slide compared to like paracord or something like that. Right? Right. Now I think this may be harder to undo at times if I wanted to undo it. I mean, I didn't apply that much force in there, right? But I imagine if it was something else, right? But if you needed something that really hold, right? You know, something structural or something like that that you don't want to lose or fall apart, well, yeah. All right. I mean, I would dip into this if I had to, right? Like I said, I want this in the giveaway, the bank line, so that's why it's not usually within all the time with me. I don't use it all the time, right? Because I only have so much of it, right? I have used it. Don't get me wrong. I have used it. I've actually, technically, I have used it for sewing. Not that much of it, right? I just wanted to see, right? But I'm like, yes, I have used it slightly, right? Not as much as some other people out there have used bank line and stuff like that, right? Because I'll usually use the paracord or cordage, right? You know? But if I needed something like solid, then maybe I would consider it. I'll be like, well, this seems like a good time to use the bank line, right? That kind of thing. Let me just put this away here. I just have it sitting in a container, actually. Yes, I just happen to have it sitting in a container. In my bag. Just drop it back in. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's something else too, right? Let's like grab something here. It's just off to the side here. Alright. I guess this is not gonna be a show and tell, but just like a sneak peek of a few things, alright? Like, don't get me wrong, I got some other stuff too. Like, well, I won't show it all, but yeah, see? Because I won't actually show it, but yes, that's braided by me, right? I haven't actually, you know what? I'll bring some of it out, why not? It reminds me, I probably should check on it anyways. Alright. Alright, right here. That's braided, right? That's actually technically mason line braided, right? So you can see, right? Zipper chains in it. Actually, I'm gonna undo this. Why not? A little quicker. I'll show you guys. Let me just undo this here. Alright. Yes. I actually took the time, like, look, to braid. Like, look. I took the time to braid this. So, this is about, it's about, because I have 4 of them, it's about, I don't know, 3 feet, 2.5 feet long, right? This is braided, right? So there's going to be some tensile strength because it's, right, obviously because I braided the line to get it right. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. They're all the same length. Right? These are all the same length. right? As you can see, that's the zipper chain sennit method of braiding, right? So it's not have some tensile strength, right? Okay. Just like everything else. Now I gotta put it back together again. While I'm doing this. Because I'm actually using it to hold the main line together, the longer piece of line that I have in here. Just gotta do this correctly here. And I'm just kind of using it like a spool, right? Just to kind of keep it together. Alright. See, now I should actually try to make this, dress this up nicely. Take the time for this right now while I'm doing this. But yeah. Like, to be honest, I have specifically used this line specifically. No, what's up, Garden? Right? However, this Mason line, the braid, I have used. I remember this one time I was at my friend's place, right? And they had their ex-girlfriend there, right? She was just sitting in a chair. I tied something like specifically like this, because it was a different color, but I tied it to the chair, right? And I actually started to pull the chair with her on it. I was like, yeah, see, it's not breaking yet. Okay? You know what I mean? Alright. Like, also, I'm not lifting it, like from, like, up high, right? Against gravity, right? I'm only sliding, right? But, I mean, you know what I mean? So, I have used it. I just wanted to show them that, right? Oh, see, now I got to do this better so it fits back on. No, it's useful. It is useful, right? I think that's the standard default now, right? I'm just trying to I've been exploring our options, right? Right? I think paracord's like the kind of like the multi-tool of cordage, right? However, there's other things out there, right? That are useful to, because usually because it's got inner strands and stuff like that, especially if it's type 3, right? It has the 7 strands and stuff like that. You can use the sheet, the outer shell of it, or the sheet, the outer part of it that you can use, right? And stuff like that. You know, people have them as shoelaces instead, right? And stuff like that. Maybe bracelets, fobs, key fobs, and stuff like that. I mean, I've known someone to actually crochet with that. Right? They made a sleeve, I think a sleeve with it, right? I mean, it's got some weight for it, right? I don't usually do it like that because I want to keep it in a functional state that I gotta use the cordage itself, right? This is why a lot of the time I don't usually use like a cobra weave type of braid, right? Because the deployment of it is slower compared to the zipper chains in it. Because it's flat, right? It'll be flatter, but it's harder to deploy it because it's hard to undo. I can't just undo it like the zipper chains in it, where as long as I remove the stopper nuts, I could be like unzipper it, right? Which I've shown on camera before, right? So let me just wrap this back up here and wrap up this section of it. I'm just making sure this is nice. It has some tension in there. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that, GP, man. I mean, it's only been, like, what, 9 hours ago when you said that. Right. Remember. Oh, yeah. I don't think Nick was there yet at that time. Or him. Yeah, I think, Nick, you were there while GP was in, right? Earlier? I know you showed up later, and I know GP had to take off sooner, but yeah. Let me just wrap this up here. I'm having some memory effect with this cordage that I have here. Because the way that I spooling this up. That's why I want to check this out. Right. See, I'm getting some of that memory effect in there, right? I think this is why I've noticed, like, I practice some of the braiding and stuff like that. I even made bracelets, right? But I realized because I'm holding it in that form, right? It's not have some sort of memory to a certain degree. Like, you can see it, right? Where it's just like bunching up in certain spots, right? And yes, I am reading what you guys are writing, both of you. Because I care what's going on with you guys too, alright? You guys are more than just my internet buddies, right? You guys are real people, right? Alright? You guys aren't AI. Even though, like, GP likes to talk about it at times. But you guys are real, right? Real. Alright? Maybe I haven't met you guys. You've heard my voice. I mean, I've never heard Nick's voice. Guardian, I've heard your voice several times, right? And like I said, Guardian, that guy's got a way with words. I'm just saying, GP. I'm just saying, man. I'll say it all the time. You got the way with words. Alright? And don't even say, oh, it's my profession, right? No. It's called al natural. Anyways, let me just put this back together here. So it's ready to go for the next time. Alright? So it's ready to go for the next time. You have tried to loom knitting paracord. I think it depends what it is, right? I mean, if you want to practice with it or whatever, like, I actually have tried, when I was trying to practice some knitting, I actually used paracord instead of yarn, because it was a little bit more forgiving, and I could actually see what I'm doing, right? In terms of casting, right? For knitting, right? Like, if Sunflower was here still, like, she knows that I'm trying to get into it, right? I would use, like, something like paracord first, just to learn the basics, right? Because it's a little bit more forgiving in terms of being able to see the loops and stuff like that. Like, if I was learning braiding again, I'd be like, yeah, learn something on a shoestring budget, right? Right, using what I have already, right? It's just like practicing knots, right? You know what I mean? Like, why not? Like, this is kind of rigid. This is not paracord, but, like, this is really rigid, right? Like, if I try to make a tall line hitch in here, yeah, I can make it. I can tie it, but it's not that great. It's, alright? Like, look at that. It's not that great. Like, look at that. I would need a stopper on there. I would have to dress it up better, right? I've just been trying to figure out what to use this for now. It doesn't hold. It's kind of more rigid. Like, maybe I should try to put a bow line in here. Let's see. Oh, actually, I think maybe I'll try this out. Let's see if I can put an alpine butterfly knot in here instead. Maybe. I should be able to. Hopefully. Cross that over. Move that off to the side. Cross that over. Underneath. Bring that in. Let's see if I actually made it correctly. I think I made it correctly. Alright. I think I made it correctly. Hopefully I did. That'll probably be not. Should be fixed loop. Be able to tighten. Alright. Fixed loop doesn't get any smaller or bigger, right? Put some tension on this. Alright. I mean, this ain't. I don't like this cordage that much in terms of tying. Alright. Like, I tried to put the bolt with the tall line hitch in there, it's just like, it does not work so great. I mean, just the alpine butterfly knot kind of works in this. If I needed something like that. Alright. I actually pull pull this a little harder. I'll flex my muscles here for you guys. No, just kidding. Right? We should be able to time to do this, right? Yeah, see, I can still undo it. Oh yeah, I think I tied it correctly. Right? I just trying to figure out what... I think I just randomly found this, right? I like... I don't know. Like... Yeah. You know what? Hold on. I want to see the inside. I know I sealed it, but I'm done... Kind of... Oh, actually, I shouldn't... Let me get some... Oh, I know what I should use. I'll use the little scissors on the multi-tool. Why not? Little scissors, right? I won't show it all, but... Little scissors, right? Let's open up this side right here. Can I even cut this with this? Okay, maybe I shouldn't try. I don't want it. Maybe that's a little too much. Hold on, let me get some scissors here. Because I can cut it with a cutting tool, but I need something a little bit more precise because I don't want to cut that much off. I just need to cut off the tip of this. Let's show this. Hold on a sec. See, I cut it. Okay, the scissors didn't work. It was kind of, but I just took my multi-tool out of my pocket to use instead, right? This ain't that great of cordage, right? As you can see here, right? Honestly, it's not paracord because it doesn't have inner strands, not like type 3 paracord or whatever, right? Like, this is why I don't usually use this, or you want to use this, right? Like, you see what I mean? Like, I might be able to use, if I pulled up the inner strands out of this, right? But I mean, like, and use just the shell, right? But obviously it would have less strength. It might be easier to tie certain knots in here, right? But what am I going to do with this? I think when I was looking at this earlier, before when I originally saw this, I was just like, what, you know, what am I going to use it for, right? I think this is why I kept it together even in spite of it, right? Because I was like, well, yeah, it'll tie better if I remove the inner strands in this type of cordage, which is not paracord, by the way. This is not, alright? Like, if your paracord looks like this, it's probably not that great, right? Alright? Look how loose that is, right? You know what I mean? Like, what would I use this for then? Right? If I removed it from its sheath, or from the shell, or the outer part of it, right? You know what I mean? Now I don't have to tie a stopper knot in here until I melt the ends back together. Because I just cut it. Right? But like I said, this is something I found miscellaneous type of cordage, right? Something I wouldn't mind losing, it wouldn't matter so much, right? It's not like some of this air cordage I have that's a little bit better, easier to work with and stuff like that, right? Like, compared to something like this that I have on the side that I showed earlier, right? They look similar. They feel different. This is a lot more stiff. This is more workable, right? You know, like, compared to something like this that's a little more workable. You know, easily braid it, right? Oh, look, I'm starting to zipper chains in it, right? That I can undo easily. Hey, relatively easily. That one's not sliding up, but yeah, see. Just something I have. At times, you know what's kind of funny? There was the other day I was helping some friend and some people out, right? And I met someone new, right? Because they were doing. I'm not just gonna specifically say exactly what we were doing, because that's not the point of the story. The point of the story was that we had to troubleshoot. Well, it wasn't troubleshooting, problem solving, right? Everyone, right? Everyday tip problem solving, problems that occur. You're gonna do something. You're putting something together because we were putting. They had to put something back together, right? And in a specific order, so it actually works at the end, right? That the most important thing was that, yes, let's put this back together, but it has to be in a certain way, so it looks like you didn't do anything or fix it, and so all the parts or the moving parts all work, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's the important thing, right? So we actually missed the spot. Instead of like removing something, because we had to like squeeze something in, like an opening or whatever, right? Tight spot, not a lot of room to squeeze your hand or your finger or, an arm in, right? Or whatever, right? So like, originally they're like, oh, use a piece of wire, right? Like, like this, something like this, right? We were trying it out. It wasn't working so well, right? And then I'm like, I was saying to them, like, at times, I'm like, hey, guys, I got another idea if this doesn't work. The wire doesn't work, right? I said to use a piece of string. Because, like, I was just thinking, cordage, right? You know? Like, I didn't have the usual stuff I have with me, right? Like, some sort of repair kit or something along the lines of that, right? So I gotta improvise, right? You know what I mean? So, like, basically, long story short, the cordage came in handy. It was just enough, and it was just like, yeah. Because I had our options, right? I'm like, in terms of this thing that it's necessary, right? This is a necessary part that needs to be inserted in, right? And if it, you know what I mean? Like, it was just one of those things where it's just like, look at that. Cordage again was useful. Alright? It helped. Not to tie things together, but to help pull something through an opening, because the opening's so small, you can't even get your fingers in there, right? Like, you're probably thinking everyone's probably thinking, like, hey, excuse me, why didn't you use, like, pliers on a multi-tool? Because the opening was so small, you couldn't even get the pliers open far enough to reach in. Alright? The only thing that was remotely close to being useful was just a little bit of string. It could have been even like, I could have actually probably used some of the bank line if I had it with me, or the mason line if I had it with me, right? I just didn't have it with me during that time, right? But because I was at my friend's place, we had access to some other materials within their, you know, garage and stuff like that, right? While we were working on this, because I was helping them out, right? So that's why it's just like, I mean, it took 3 hours to put it back together, but it was worth it because it works again, right? So, you know what? I just realized I just forgot to put something away. It's sitting on my table still. The cordage I was using, I forgot to put it back in somewhere else. Alright. So this is why lately I've noticed more and more, I'm like, hey, you know what? Cordage is much more useful than I realize at times, right? You know, you forget these little tiny things at times, right? Where a little bit of cordage could be very, very useful, right? Like, you know, like, how did I remember this one time I was helping someone, thread or weave or, thread the needle, metaphorically speaking, of some Ethernet cable, right? And of course, you know, we couldn't see because we had to go around the corner down from a second story down to the main floor, right? We needed something, right? Just so you can see it and grab it and make sure you can see it, right? And pull down the Ethernet cable from the top, right? Well, there is one thing I did use, but because we had to get an angle in there, couldn't see much, right? You know what really was useful during that time for me? A flashlight and a little bit of cordage, right? Just a little bit. It wasn't even that much, right? Not to tie it together, but to help me pull the Ethernet cable. And we had to get it straight, right? Because if you ever tried to thread something and it just bunches up at the end, right? Let's just say it was something like this, right? And just like bunches up, right? And you can't feed it through because it's bunching up, right? So you need something with some weight or it's a little bit more stiff, right? So like, I think I tie. How did I do this again? I'm trying to remember which knot I used for hitch. I think I might even use a simple slip knot, right? Yeah. Because there is a male end for that Ethernet cable, right? So there wasn't a connection at the end, so I just kind of made a quick, easy slip knot, put it over the Ethernet cable, alright? Just something I can pull, right? And just kind of something I can pull along. But it was long enough that I can, like, throw it down like a rope or whatever, right? Yeah, when it was no more noticeable, right? You could see it and stuff like that. And you can get the right tension in the line. If that makes any sense. Yeah, exactly. See? Straight up, right, Nick? Well, yeah, with nodding. I will nod to that, what you just said. I'm not trying to be punny, but I'm just trying to tie this together. Yeah, that was probably bad. GP's probably like, dude, Bob would so Bob. If Bobby was listening right now, he'd be like, "CR, yeah, dude." He'd look in the camera and be like, "Dude, yeah, see my eye? Strike one, dude." That's what he would say. I know that's what he would say right now. And then I'd be like, "Oh, thanks, Bob. I like it when you fire me. I feel nice and warm." It's like the warmest welcome I'll ever get. Inside joke, but yeah. Anyways, I gotta make sure I put some of the stuff away. But yeah, I mean, this is why I've realized, like, yeah, that is useful, right? I mean, there's been times where I've used, like, fishing line and stuff like that. Like, for anyone that's going camping, right? The poles sometimes then have the the fiber type of poles that are flexible that have like interconnection. And usually they have some sort of elasticy, bungee like cordage on the inside for tension, right? Like, because they'll stick together and they can collapse, right? Well, what happens when you break the cordage for whatever reason and it pulls through it? It's on their end, and you gotta feed it back through, right? And the thing is, you can't feed it through on its own because it's elasticy, right? It's meant to be stretched, right? So I've used something like fishing line before to help someone out. Because someone actually, when I went camping before, this while ago, this is even before 2020, right? I think this was 2017, and they had that issue, right? I was just like, problem in terms of problem solving, right? Because they need it for their tent, right? You know what I mean? They need it for their tent. They need the poles for the tent, right? And it's a fixable thing, right? It just, oops, something happened, right? And it pulled through, right? Now they gotta, thread it back through, right? Because it's like that tube, right? And that, if this was like bungee like cable or elasticy, right? It'd be like long tube right this extends out, but it's right here, but usually it would be like this, right? Under tension, right? So the only thing is to use something like fishing line, maybe even kite string. Maybe even if I didn't necessarily have to do it, I had fishing line that time, right? But I mean, like even the inner strands of paracord, right, would be able to fit the opening in, run that through, tie it off to the bungee end, right, and pull it through, right? Like actually, in theory, you could probably do that without actually destroying the paracord or cutting it, right? You just have to you would just need one end of like the inner strands, right? Providing the length of the whole cordage is long enough that you can actually like put through the little opening and pull it through, right? Why is Nick laughing at me? He's just laughing. Like, look at this symbol right here. Just kidding. Just kidding, dude. But yeah. So that's why, like, at times I've noticed, at times, like, how useful that is. Like, I guess when you pick up the knowledge of it, right? Not just the gear, right? You know, the knowledge of some hitches, knots, amongst other things, right? Even from a simple slip knot to, like, something more complicated, like a bowline, alpine butterfly knot loop, right? The trucker hitch, right? Either friction type hitches, like the Fairmont friction hitch or the top line hitch, right? Like, actually, like, don't have it nearby. There is this hitch I've been learning to do. I even mentioned it to Uncle Al, right? And like, it's called, if I remember right, the Blake hitch, right? Like, don't quote me on it, right? Because I'm still trying to learn it, but like this would be, actually, you know what? Let me get the other piece of cordage that I have it on. Hold on. Hopefully, I think I did it right, but I mean, I'm still trying to learn it. It's called the Blake hitch, right? You can actually look this up, right? It's very, very similar. Oh, whatever there, Nick. Don't fire me up, man. It's not Fire Up Friday. But, like, it's supposed to be very similar. Like, it's a friction-based hitch, like the Fairmont friction hitch or the more common, popular top line hitch, right? It's supposed to look something like this, right? Like, I'll actually tie it, right? Like, when I think I've done this right, like, don't quote me on this. This is not a tutorial for this. But, like, and honestly, because there's more loops. You could see there's more loops on this compared to a top line, right? So, also, you need a lot more lining, right? Just the way it is, right? It's a little bit longer to undo at times, right? Compared to a taut line, right? If I, like, I'll make a taut line first, then I'll make the Blake hitch. Just to show it here, right? Nope. And apparently I have an alpine butterfly looping this too. Let's undo that. Like, usually, you know, a taut line would be like, actually, I should have used brake cordage. You know, you go back 2 loops back, right? Go behind. And for most people, they'll go find that little opening, right? And make something like that taut line hitch, right? Dress it up, you know, and stuff like that. Make it look nice and, you know, make sure those loops. Because one thing I've been learning as I've been doing this is that the dressing up of the knot is actually important, and especially if you're using like a friction-based hitch, because this would probably apply not just to the taut line, but other friction-based ones that have loops in there, right, to hold the tension, right? You want to make sure they're lined up nice and tight, right? Those 3 right there, right, on this taut line, right? This could go the same if you want to use the Fairmont friction hitch, right? And you would adjust this up, right? And yeah, you know, adjustable tension and stuff like that, right? And look how easy, this is a lot easier to undo than the Blake hitch, I find, but let's see if I did this right, hopefully, right? But supposedly, the Blake hitch, where did I think I seen, I'm trying to remember which video I saw it. I saw it a long time ago, and I just tried it out, and I was just like, that doesn't look that complicated, right? it's just like when I see it, when I show you guys, right? I'm not even really looking at the screen here, right? But I mean, like, apparently, you're gonna need a little bit more slack, alright, on your running end. But like, you're supposed to go 4 times, alright, back, like so, right? Come around just like the taut line hitch, right? Pull the first 2 loops up a little, and feed that your running end, running end in. Oh my gosh, that was so hard to say, right? This is why it takes a little bit more time. I mean, like, all right, and then you dress it up, right? Like it's I made the tail kind of long, but you know what I mean, right? Right. Supposedly this is how it's supposed to be tied. Like, don't quote me on this. I'm still trying to learn this better, right? Right. But this is supposed to hold a little bit better than a taut line, because there's extra points for friction to hold it, right? You know, like that doesn't slide as easily. Like, but like, look. Hold on. I'm trying not to like knock my camera. It's like, oh, I'm trying so hard to just like knock down a bunch of stuff off my table. But yeah, see. But right, like I have it on this other side here. All right, something I've been trying to add in. I don't usually use it that often, right? Right, but I think it. Something as an additional piece of knowledge, right? I mean, it's not that much more complicated than trying to taut line or something like that, right? Because a lot of these knots and hitches and stuff like, it's just the way that you, the loops, the bites, wraps, right? The direction and all that stuff, right? That's all really it is, right? You know, like two loops in the front. Well, 2 loops in the front, 2 loops in the front. 2 loops in the back, 2 loops in the front, right? And, you know, you tie it off, right? You know? Yeah, obviously the tail, I'm still trying to get used to it where I don't have such a long tail, right? You know? So it's something I've actually been trying out, like, because if I undo this one right here, this is the one I just made. If I undo this one right here, yeah, it takes, like I said, it takes a little bit longer to undo this, right? Because you're not just wrapping it, like the taut line you go around once, right? This is like 2, right? I think this is why it holds a little bit better in terms of it doesn't slide as easily, right? But it's a little bit more time to undo if you had to undo it compared to a taut line, right? I'm trying to show these knots and be naughty, and you guys are just laughing at me. And I'm all tied up here. Like you can see, I'm not saying it's like impossible to undo, right? You know, it just takes a little bit longer because of the complexity of it, right? It's not that much more complicated, right? Like I said, the taut line H2 back, right? Go behind and make that loop, right? And dress it up as they say, right? You know, I'll try to make this dress it up real good, right? This might act, let's see if I can get this to slide. See, like, look at that, I can get that to slide, right? If I apply enough pressure, right? Right? Look how tight I have to make it, right? All 3 are together, right? The loops are on the same side. They're touching too, right? This Blake hitch, right? It's actually 4. I think I did this right. Hopefully. Hopefully don't go beyond it, right? I'm still trying to learn it, right? I'm a little bit more proficient at making the taut line hitch, but like the Blake hitch, the taut line hitch. Like, right? This slide's a little bit easier compared to this. But this will hold a lot more without sliding. I think this is what they some of the videos I've been watching, like what's it called? Not astronauts, the animated knots, right? The site itself, right? They actually have a YouTube channel, right? You can learn some of these knots, right? I've been trying to learn some of these knots. Like, there's other knots that are out there, right? I'm just like, but I've been actually trying to learn the knots that are like, I would actually want to use because I find them useful, maybe help during camping or whatever, right? Like, here's the stand right here, right? Make a tumble hitch, alright? Look. My standing ends over here, the short side, or the running ends right here, right? 1. 2. Alright, dress it up a little. Alright. Well, that doesn't pull that hard because I don't want to break this, turn it this way, yeah. Alright. See that? A little bit of tension. Alright. I can't apply that much tension, but I'll pull this back slightly. Like, look. This is the pull tab right here. I pull this out. Boom. Right? Quick to undo, right? I think this is why I like that tumble hitch. The tumble hitch. I have used it before, right? Where, hey, I just need to attach it around something, let's say a pole or something like that, but I need a temporary thing, right? You know what I mean? Like my light that I have right here, right? It also has, well, I can't show you it because my lamp that I have right here, right? It's got a little pull on it too, right? I've used this, the tumble hitch, before. Not that often at times, like, I've shown people, right? When I originally started to learn this from, because it was a preparedness or survival bushcraft type of challenge a long time ago, right? I think this was like, I'm trying to remember, 2018 when I did this, right? It was a challenge, right? Because they were showing, at that time I didn't learn one of them, but like, they were showing the knots, right? These hitches, right? It's like, oh, here's the tumble here. Here's this Fairmont friction hitch, which is basically a version of like the taut line hitch, but you make it in the middle of the line, right? Like, sorry, I don't have a pull to make the Fairmont friction hitch because I need a pull to go around to make it, but yeah. But basically, it would be like, because I don't have anything nearby. Here, let's use this. It's not gonna be that much tension in this because it's not anchored, but basically it would go around, right, like this, and you would make a loop, and similar to like what's it called, a prusik knot, right? Or what's it called? Is it called the cow hitch? No, lark's head knot. Yes, lark's head knot, right? This would be, the lark's head knot is when you have a little bit of a loop and you go around. There, hold on. Let me make a. Okay, actually, let me undo that. The lark's head knot would be, you get a loop like this. If I remember right, this would be the lark's head knot, right? I know Uncle Al knows this. Because he's mentioned the lark's head knot, right? And that would be the lark's head knot, right? From prusik knot, well, you just add one additional 2 more loops around, right? You would have... Sorry, let me extend this out a little here. Alright. 1. Hopefully I have enough loose. Alright. Usually you go at least 3. If I remember right. Because even the Fairmont friction hitch is like that too, right? Okay, this isn't... You know what? I gotta use something around because I don't actually want to cut into the cordage. Let me grab a pencil here since I am penciling this in here. Hey, you know what? I will say straight up, Nick, I was not in the Boy Scouts. Alright? I went camping when I was younger, right? So, if this old dog can learn some new tricks, so can you guys. Right? Just a little bit of understanding. Okay, let's do that again. Alright, so once, twice. I'll dress it up, right? Don't get it wrong. Yeah, see, I'm supposed to go around them one more time. Here, let me go around one more time for the Prusik knot, however you want to pronounce it. Alright. Let me dress this up better here. Hold on. Put these in the middle, make sure these all line up. Alright. That would be the Prusik knot. Alright. A friction-based type of thing, alright? That's why you usually use 3 loops around. So you have enough friction in there, right? Dress that up. You can see those loops are parallel to each other, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? The cordage is in the middle, right? The ending is at the end. The beginning is on the outside, right? So, and I've shown people this, right? And I'm like, yeah, everyone knows what friction is, right? Something that, yeah, you need to not slip on ice with or whatever, right? So you can come to a stop with brakes and stuff like that, right? Let me pull this up, right? Look how easy it moves, right? But as soon as you apply some tension on this part, right? Okay, you know? Like, I'm probably gonna break the pencil before that slides, right? You know what I mean? Like I'm trying really hard, right? Like, I break the pencil first if I try to pull A harder, right? Actually, I don't want to break the pencil, but yeah. See, this is holding it back, right? The friction. And this is why you have to dress it up and, like, get the slack out of it as much as possible and dress it up, right? Because it needs to constrict around something, right? Pencil, a pole, a peg, a tree, right? Because if you can do this, a firm-on friction hitch is very, very similar. Very, very similar. Instead of this pencil, it's around the end of the line, right? And you usually use it from a loop. Because you have to twist it out, right? You have to, like, go like this, and then go around 3 times. Well, I can't show it, but, you know, it'd be, like, around 3 times, and then, you know, you have to make a... What's the terminology again? I'm trying to remember the terminology. I know how to do it. Because I actually have a version of it on the side that I've actually had, right? Yeah. And it still has the tension on it, right? Alright. I actually have it around the chair because I have something on it. I can't show it because it's out of the way, but yeah. That's why I've used this before too. Alright. You know, you can add more loops in, right? You'll add more friction in. I actually wonder if there's an upper limit for it, right? Because I think what they say is, technically, if you add more than 3 loops, you add more friction around because it's another spot to hold it, right? It's just that every time you add more in, you need more line, right? Because it's got to go around, right? Can't we number the knots instead of naming them? I can't remember them all. Why am I not surprised Nick doesn't know? You've been very, very naughty, Nicky. Just kidding. And I just wrote what GP said, but yeah. You know? Oh, well, let's take this off. Okay, now I gotta tie this back together because I was actually using this. Right? I actually have been using this. That's why I actually have this out right now. I'll have to tighten her up Blake Hitch in here real quick. But I mean, like, this is why I've been trying to apply the knowledge too, right? Like, this is gear, right? This is gear, physical gear. Cordage in this case, right? You know what makes gear better? Not just more gear, per se, but knowledge of it. How to use said items, right? Cordage is very useful. But you know what's also useful? Being able to tie certain things, being able to tie quick release, friction-based type of hitches, fixed loops, and stuff like that, like a bowline or an Alpine Butterfly loop or not, right? Friction-based knots, like what I'm doing right here, right? Taut line, Blake Hitch, hopefully I'm doing it right? I think I'm doing it right. Right? Go for that opening of the front once and twice. Interested up, similar to a taut line hitch, right? Interested this up, basically, you know, put it together, right? Right, I got something like this. Right, adjust that up a bit better. So, I'm still trying to see where I can actually use the Blake Hitch a little bit more than, and see if there's a noticeable difference. I think there is a noticeable difference compared to a taut line. Because even the sites that are talking about it and stuff like that, they say that it holds better. There's more friction, right? It doesn't slide as much. Obviously, if there's a significant amount of weight, it may still slide anyways, but it may be able to resist. Because there's two loops in the front instead of just kind of one knot in the front holding it. Like, you still have the two in the back, right? But there's more in the front. And you know, I can cinch that down. It's wrapping around this part that I'm pulling, right? Like, you know, it still has that kind of, oh, hey, there's no tension. I can still slide it, like, you know, taut line or a, you know, even the Fairmont friction hitch has the same characteristic, right? That's how I've been looking at it, right? I think that's why when I first saw this, I was just like, in a video, I'm like, that was so similar to a taut line hitch, and they were explaining it, and I was just like, I just followed along, and I'm like, I think I did it right still, but don't quote me on it. Look it up yourself, right? Look it up yourself, alright? Try it yourself, right? Because to me, it's not that much more complicated, right? However, I can understand how it's going, right? It's like, oh, yeah. It's very similar, like, if you can tie a taut line, you probably could tie this too, right? Right. I think I asked Uncle Al because I was mentioning, it's like, hey, I'm trying out this new hitch. It's called the Blake Hitch. New to me, right? I was asking Uncle Al, like, do you know about it, man? He's like, he honestly said sort of, right? So I'm like, okay, right. But I was like quite interested in this, especially something like this because it's adjustable, right, and stuff like that. It's, you know. Yeah, it's easy to undo. Like, I kind of, when I explain, like, without, like, using specific names, like, what they're called, right? Because I was explaining this to someone that's, like, what? I think they were, like, 22, 23. One, my friend's mom's, I don't know, one of my friend's distant cousins or whatever, right? Because we were out camping with them, right? And they were kind of with us for a little bit, right? They stayed for one night, right? And I was just explaining some of this cordage, right? Not using very technical terms, not like official words, like, oh, this is a taut line, this is Bob, right? Like, when I was explaining the taut line hitch, right? I didn't even use its official name, right? I just said, you know, things that people can understand, right? And I'm like, yeah, this is a friction-based type of knot. And, you know, you could see that it slides, but as soon as this side, it holds it, right? And when I slide it, right, I was showing the Prusik knot, right, and stuff like that, right? How I explained it, I'd be like, something like this, or the taut line, it's like, you know, think of, like how I say to people, everyone knows what a zip tie is, right? It's just like a zip tie, but a cordage or a line type of version of one, right? Because yeah, it'll hold it until I pull this way, right? Like a reusable zip tie has that lever right there, right, that you can undo. And let me undo this because I'm starting to lose feeling in my fingertips. I tied it way too tight on that way. What's your top 5 used knots here? To be honest, I mean, like, it depends what I'm doing, right? Right. Like, I know the bushcrafting type of community, the camping community, they like their trucker's edge, right, and stuff like that. Yeah, it's useful too, right? You know, but day to day and stuff like that, even a slip knot, like even for me, like, I'm starting to like these like friction based knots or hitches, right? Or or something like the tumble hitch, or a quick release version of like the cane jam knot, or something like that, right? A quick release version of one, right? Because sometimes that's useful too. Because I remember the last time I went camping, because I didn't actually go last year because I was busy, but like the year before, right? Alright? And someone's like, oh, that's a complicated knot, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, it's not complicated, because, look, quick release, right? I think actually the video that I showed that camping out, I actually did tie, yes, I actually did tie the Fairmont friction hitch, because I actually had to use it for the tent, or the structure, or the tarp we were using, against, like, a pole, right? There was a pole over here, right? Right, this is not what I mean, but you know what I mean? It was like this, adjustable, right? I'm trying to remember if I used a taut one or was it a Fairmont friction hitch. Well, either way, it was still a friction-based hitch, right? Right? Oh yeah, no, it was a Fairmont friction hitch, yeah, because the Fairmont friction hitch has a little bit of tail, and then because it's not tied like this, right? Because it's in line, right? And the loops go around, and then you secure it, like, because I can't show it because I don't have a fixed pole to show it, right, without changing my camera angle, but I was showing, but this ain't that company, look at this, boom, I can undo it just like that, right, but it has tension on it, right, I think that's one of the things I've started to realize, it's actually saving me time. Save me some effort, right? Because now I can do these like quick release type of versions of one, or ones that are adjustable, right? So I can get that nice tension that I need on the line, right? Depending on what I'm doing, or I gotta readjust the peg or something like that, right? So I keep that in mind. So top 5. I mean, I don't climb, yet I've used the Alpine butterfly knot or loop, right? I've actually used it for a very specific reason, right? Because I needed a loop, like, let's just say I was joining this, like, it's very similar to this, right? Let's just say these were slip knots, whatever, nothing too special, right? Going around something, like, here. Let me grab something else here. I don't want to use the stick, I don't want to cut into the line, but let's just say it was something like this, right? Because I was pulling something, right? It had wheels on it, right? Let's just say something like this, right? And I needed like some tension, right? 2 separate things at the end. Well, let's tighten this up. I feel like I'm gonna break the pencil by the time at the end of the stream. So it was like similar to this, right? Well, I needed something because I needed the control, right? But I needed something in there, right? So what I did was, because I don't have access to the end of the line right now, right? I don't have access to the end. Alpine butterfly knot or loop allows me to do that, right? Like, this is a crude example of it, right? Right? Hopefully it's in the center, right? I needed something that I can pull. Damn it. screwed that up, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Like, it took me a while to set it up so it was in the middle, right? But basically, it allowed me to, like, pull on both at with the same tension. But if I pulled this way or that way, I was able to go this way or that way. If that makes any sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Because okay, this will make even more sense. It's because I was pulling a bicycle that had training wheels on it. It was so short that I didn't want to lean over and just push it, right? Because I was bringing it somewhere, because I was just like, I'll go for a walk with it, right? And I'm not gonna ride it, right? Because it's too small for, right? I just need something. This is, if you think about handlebars, right? And I needed something to steer with. It kind of looked funny, but I was able to do it, and it was like, it was behind me, and I didn't have to, like, bend down and just hold the handlebars and control it, right? I was able to control it with some cordage, right? Because this allows me to have the tension to pull it straight, like this. But if I had to turn, all I had to do was just adjust this and that, right? If that makes any sense, right? So, I mean, like, I didn't never find I would be using cordage like that, right? But I'm like, well, let's try this out, right? You know? And stuff like that. Like, honestly, something like a taut line hinge, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's quite high up there for what I use, right? Because, like I said, it's like although I may be using a Blake hitch a little bit more often when possible, but I also need more line when I use it, because clearly I still have to practice to make sure my tail doesn't stick out like that. Yes. Alright. Open up that adjustable loop here. Right? Because I was using this for something else, right? And because in that same reason, like, I actually needed the line shorter because I was putting it around something, right? It was dangling too low. So I had to reduce the amount of line, right? But can't do it from here, right? So I kind of, like I said earlier, I made an Alpine butterfly loop to bypass it. Alright. Something similar to this. Dressed it up, right? It was just enough. Alright. And I was still able to undo it. Didn't have to cut the line. Didn't have to cut it shorter, right? Right? Because I don't want to splice the line back together, right? It won't be the same, right? Right? Yet, I have access to it. Alpine butterfly loop or not, because it's in the middle line. Can't do a bull line in the middle. Right? Stuff like that, right? So now I can put this back. Because now it's back to what it was before I started, right? I mean, let's see, not. What else? Yeah, taut line. I don't use the Thermon friction hitch that much. Alright? I do know how to do it at times. Maybe sometimes I'm a little bit rusty, right? Trucker hitch, I mean, like, it's useful, but I don't use it all the time too, right? Like, I know people use it for, like, their ridge line or something like that, but how many people out there use the knowledge of tying a trucker hitch for other things? Maybe to secure something like on your truck or something like that. Secure, well, let's say you're bringing a mattress or whatever, but besides that, right? In terms of earthing, but, like, these friction hitches, like a taut line hitch or even a Blake hitch, I feel like I use them way more often. Just because it's more likely where I need it, right? You know what I mean? Like, there's other reasons of using it, right? Let's see. The Alpine butterfly loop or even the bull one. Yeah, I use those too. Like, I just used it right now, right? So, I think as long as you know ways of making fixed loops, adjustable loops, friction-based hitches or not, whatever you want to use, taut line, Blake hitch, Alpine butterfly knot, a bull line, right, and stuff like that, right? As long as you know them, I think I would go from there, right? And it's not that difficult, right? It's not that difficult. Like, come on, someone learned how to do it before, right? Before a computer, before a phone, right? Clearly, we can learn it. You know what I mean? You definitely need to watch this part of the stream. Thanks to you. Oh, of course, I appreciate it. But I mean, like, this is why, like, I wasn't meaning to do a bunch of be naughty on this stream, but, you know, I guess I'll explain it. I'll just explain it, right? Or else it would have been like a 20-minute video. I'll be explaining it on a static, normal video, right? Because, like, I know you guys have cordage and stuff like. I know people know what paracord is, right? Like, nowadays you can pay. I can find paracord at, like, at a not necessarily a department store or a sporting goods store, right? Like, you know, I go into, because you guys do not live here in Canada or in the US, so you don't know these places, so I'm not that name them, but, like, you know, people know what it is, kind of deal, right? They kind of know what it is, kind of deal, right? You know? It's like paracord. Oh, yeah, that's the cordage that they use in parachutes, right? That's where it comes from, right? And stuff like that. It's like, you know? But some of this air cordage is, like, is useful, too, right? But just because you have a spool of it, right? 50 feet, 25 feet, 30 feet, 100 feet, or one of those big ass spools of 1,000, right? I don't have anything like that. I don't have that much cordage, right? But yeah, that's all good. It's useful. It can be useful. It can help people out and stuff like that. Solve problems and connect things together. But like I said earlier, the cordage is nothing with knots and hitches that you use them for, right? You know what I mean? And the last time I went camping, right, I actually saw someone, because this is a public type of event, right? So there's public camping, right? So this ain't like, hey, I'm just out with friends camping, right? This is more like an quote-unquote community group activity, right? There's their campers, right? So I see when people are setting up their system, their camp, right, as they say, right? And I know when I see things, right, I'm just like, see, people can have paracord. They have paracord, right? Yet I'm not saying it's wrong, but, you know, like, it's not, you know, I see a bunch of granny knots. I'll be like, and stuff like that. And I look because they, like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, right? Because I saw them setting up camp, and they left before we did, right? Alright? So they're dismantling camp, right? I'm seeing them cut into cordage, right? Like, I don't like to cut cordage. Let's just say this was around something or whatever, right? I don't want to cut the cordage if I don't have to, right? Because, well, I don't want to waste the money, right? And the second thing is, in certain situations, right? If that's the only resource or the amount of cordage you have with you, and let's just say, you know, you're in the mountains or whatever, right? Something like that, in the woods, lost or whatever, right? Something you're stuck or whatever. Real life situation, right? You do not want to cut your cordage shorter. If you don't have to, cut it. If you don't have to, right? Because splicing cordage there is not as strong, right? It's not quite as strong, right? If I, like, even if I make a, connected with, like, something like a blood knot or anything like that, or bypass, like, if I cut this, I'm not gonna cut it, right? It's still not as strong as if it was originally together, right? Because the knots make it weaker, slightly, right? You know? Like, I know an alpine butterfly knot, it's not just to make a fix loop, it's to bypass damage, right? If there was a fray right here, I could bypass that, right? Is it as strong as if it was whole and without a little fray right here? Yeah. But, you know, I have to, right? So that's why, yeah. But long story short, when I was seeing them, I'm like, yeah, they had paracord, right? They were cutting so much of it because the way that they wrapped it around, they were using tape. And I'm like, yeah, I can understand they were setting it up, right? You know what I mean? But you know what else? Because at the site, right, they have to do site pickup anyways, right? So at times, like, what you saw in that video, right? This is actually the same paracord that they were using. I'm pretty sure this is the exact same one that I saw that person using. Because they were using black. I'm pretty sure this exactly came from that person, right? This was one of the offcuts that they had that was too short. They didn't reclaim it after, right? Because let's just say you spend like, I'm just putting numbers out there. Let's just say $20 on like 50 feet of paracord, right? Alright. And I know it stretches, it doesn't last forever or whatever, but I mean, like, if you're just using that just for one camping trip, right? Like, you know what I mean? That's money, also additional money. It becomes a consumable, right? Almost disposable, not intent, right? It's not as reusable, right? Cordage should, to a certain degree, be reusable, right? Unless you start stretching it or whatever, right? Rope is different, you know, climbing is different, right? But I mean, like something like this, I should be able to reuse this a little bit more, right? Especially if I'm just tying camp together, tying a shelter together, right? I should be able to reuse it when possible, right? And the knowledge of hitches and quick release and stuff like that is useful. That way I can reclaim the cordage, right? Get a little bit more than just one use out of it, right? Like this right here, it's not randomly in a landfill. Because like I said, this place has to do site pickup afterwards, right? It's just the way it is, right? So, and no one cares, you know, right? Because basically you're helping them, right? I just saw it, I'm like, yeah, you know, there's like, this is like, let's just say this was like 2 feet or whatever. I'm like, 2 feet, I can make that work. 2 feet, that's like a tile point on the corner of a tarp for me, right? I can use that. And remember, I just saw them bring out the cordage for it, right? This paracord for it, right? Because I was also talking to them for a little bit because they weren't that far from our camp, right? Just making small talk, right? You know, I could, you know, just small talk, right? Just stuff like that. I didn't know them or anything right now. I'm trying to remember their name right now. I don't, what was their name? I'm trying to remember right now. I think their name was Shane or something like that. Maybe Sean or something like that. But, like, you know, after they left, I was just, like, looking, I'm like, that's, like, 3 feet. It's just the way that they tied it together. Because, you know, sometimes you leave camp, you gotta rush out of camp, right? And don't get me wrong, I've had to rush out of camp before, too, right? Due to the weather, right? But this is why, again, quick release, things that I can undo, right? It's not like some sort of, like, look at this, right? If I had a knot like this, right? People would be like, oh, yeah, right? Like, I can put this a lot of tension in it, but I could still undo this quite easily, relatively speaking, right? Right? Slide that out, pull that out, right? I'm not gonna pull it out, but, well, you know what? Screw it, I'll pull it out. Right? Boom, right? I can undo it, reclaim the cordage, right? Because I think in certain situations, right, you might not have more of it, so you gotta utilize the resource that you do have, right? As much as possible and not, oh, damn, sorry. I didn't realize my device was actually at 100%. I don't want to overcharge my phone here. I just realized that, I mean, I am using some of the power, so it's not so bad, but, yeah, I gotta, hold on one sec. I have to adjust the camera here. See? I was talking about cordage so long that I didn't even realize my battery's like reaching right. Because the last time I saw it, it was at 91. I'm like, oh yeah, I got a little bit of time. I'm like, nope, not that much. Hold on a sec. It's because I gotta rebalance my phone here. Hold on, everyone. I gotta adjust this here. Adjust my clip here. Since I don't have it plugged in. Alright, now I can turn this back on. What did Nick say? Yeah, preset of original ones. I've seen people say, like, you know, put a bow line in there or whatever, right? I mean, at the end of your standing in, right? Because, like, this ain't a bolt line, but, I mean, I've done it with Alpine Powerfly, not. But basically, it's so, like, you can, if this was a tree or whatever, you can, see, it's kind of hard to do this without, like, a tree or something like that. But, let's just say it was something like that, right? Go around, and let me grab someone here. Okay, well, I'll just use this pencil. Right? Something like this. Like a toggle, right? Something like that, right? If imagine that was a tree, right? And something like that. For example, right? And as soon you can you pull out the toggle, you can pull that out, right? You can reclaim the cordage, right? Use that ridge line again. A few more times. Not just one season of it, right? You know what I mean? Because I've noticed that, right? I've noticed that. It's just like literally this guy just bought the cordage, right? And it didn't even last one trip, right? And it was like, they only set that setup up for like a few days, maybe 2 or 3 days at most, right? Like, I get paracord stretches and stuff like that, and yeah, it'll wear down in time. Like, you can't use it indefinitely forever, right? It does wear down, right? But I'm like, surely it didn't wear down in, like, the 3 days. I mean, yeah, it was hot, right? But I mean, like, I could be using it for maybe not something like a ridge line anymore, let's just say, but I mean, like, a tie-out point. Like, let's just say I can... Right? Because when you saw me in that video, right, where I showed the cordage at the end, right? Right? Those were the usable spots. Because some of the knots, I was looking at some of the knots, right? I could tell exactly why they cut it. Because they couldn't undo those knots. Because they're like, without actually tying it, you know, they were like an overhand, like a knot like this, right? A knot like that, and that was like so darn tight that you can undo that. You can pull it apart, right? You know, I'm not done. I actually do it because I'm not to undo it, but like they couldn't undo it, right? So you know, if you think about it, yeah, you're gonna get frustrated, right? And you're gonna cut your losses, like literally cut your losses, right? Right? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't help them set it up or see what they were doing or what they had to go around. But I feel like surely if these nuts and hitches are so valuable, surely 1 or 2 of them could help. All right? Tension, right? All right? Like, look, this wick hitch or top line hitch, right? Hey, look. Well, you know, let's see. Let's just say that... Where's that pencil I had? I just had the pencil. Oh, here it is. Right? Let's just say the stick and this pencil, I want to join them together, right? For example, right? Well, looks like I'm gonna undo this brake hitch once again to show this, right? Let's just say, like, that's a pull, because they were connecting this, you know, and also you want to make sure your shelter's secure and all that stuff. You don't want things flapping in the wind and all that stuff, right? I get that. I understand that, right? But it could have been like as simple as, hey, I gotta connect these points together. Let's just say, right? Let's just say I have to connect that together. There's a couple of different ways of going about it. And let me undo this brake hitch real quick. Alright. So I actually have to end. Alright. So if I was doing something like this, right? You know, if you didn't have much knowledge, you'd probably be like, here, I'll just do it like this and, you know, something like that, and hopefully tie it off or something like that. Maybe tie it like a shoelace, right? You know, like, I don't have enough slack for this to do it, but you know what I mean, right? But other people that have some knowledge, some experience with it, be like, hey, I gotta join these 2 things together so they hold together for a little bit, right? You know? Let's try the top line hitch, or in this case, the brake hitch, right? Providing I have access to the ends. Like, you know, this side and that side, right? Oh, what? I can tighten that up. And now it's together, right? Yet I can still undo this. right? Yeah, I mean, the middle still don't slide just because, you know, the pencil in this case, right? But, I mean, I can start wrapping it around and stuff like that, right? I'm no expert in cordage or whatever, or tying or whatever, but I mean, like, these knots, these hitches that I've been learning, I'm trying to apply them. I'm trying to apply that knowledge towards the problems, towards the situation. Doesn't matter if it's camping or I'm helping someone out or whatever, right? I've noticed at times I'm like, this is very, very useful, right? Like, I've actually made like, I remember I was sleeping over for the staying over for the night at a friend's place, right? You know, no bed. I had to sleep on chairs, not on the ground, right? Right. They had a blanket and a blanket, right? I actually made, you know what they say, like, I actually connected the chairs, like, because they had, like, little things at the top, right? Like, handle, you know what I mean, like, backrest and stuff like that, or kind of, you know, that kind of thing, right? And I connected it together. I actually connected two chairs together using, I think, what did I use? Well, the knot's not as important, but I pretty much made a ridge line with that. Draped over, I think it was something I had, like another blanket, a secondary blanket. I had another blanket to cover me too, right? I kind of just made a little bit of a makeshift tent with it, right? When you first looked at me, it's like, I'm like, hey, it works, right? It works, right? And then, like, the next day when I woke up, because I used, like, I think when I first attached it, I used, like, the tumble hitch, right? Quick release, boom, undo it, right? The other side, right? You know, I was able to undo it, right? And have the no, the other side was, I had some tension on it, right? I was able to undo that, but I'm like, just something as simple as that, right? Where I was applying the knowledge, right? Just like how I said earlier about something else, right? Like, I'll even, for the third time, tie this back up. Again. For, like, the third time, and I'm tying the boy hitch in here, right? Let's see if I can actually, how much of a tail I'll have to adjust this. Alright, so 4 behind, go around the front, similar to the taut line hitch. This is very, very similar. If you can tie the taut line hitch, you can tie this too. Providing I'm actually doing it right. Okay. And go through those 2 loops in the front. Well, which will be the front in this case, right? Dress that up a little bit better here. Alright. Dress that up a little bit better. It's not perfect. Well, I still have much of tail, but it's not, no, it's as long as the other one. No, it's slightly shorter. So, I'm still trying to get used to it where I actually don't have such long excess tail. Huh. Did I actually go? Yeah, I did really. Did I really talk about, like, knots and hitches for, like, the last, like, 45 minutes? I must have, didn't I? Because Nick's been here for a while, right? So, I think I will go no later till the top of the hour. Because I probably should get some rest, too. Right? Like, this wasn't supposed to be a cordage type of stream, but... Like, this was... Well, actually, you know what? I did name this stream CR Time, right? So, cordage does have CR in it. So, technically, that ties together. Oh, my gosh, Bob was so proud of me for saying that. I swear, Mark too, probably. He'd be like, CR, yeah, strike one, dude. Yeah, I know they would say that as soon as I said something like that, but yeah. But, I mean, that's why, like, I practice this kind of stuff as much as possible, right? You know? And do what I can, right? Like, you know, my harmonica's still here, by the way. Hey, you know what I could do? right? Or if I really wanted to, I could do it another way and tie something else in here. Oh, look. I can't show you the top of it, but yeah, look. Hey, I could make a harmonica necklace. Too bad I can't get it right away. Yeah. Oh, but don't worry. I didn't cut the line. I just made it shorter with a Alpine butterfly loop, right? So I can adjust this out. But yeah, it's not. I can't get it around my head. But yeah. Like they're supposed to have those things for hands-free harmonica use. Right? I almost feel like I could almost make one. Okay. Anyways, I won't. I'll stop tooting my own horn here. Yeah, I mean, I could see in terms of daisy chaining or something like that, or braiding it, right? Because you actually do add some string to it, right? It's the same way that the reverse braid, if you're making like natural cordage, right? It does help, right? Because you have more of it, if that makes any sense. Alright? So that's why, I keep this in mind at times. So sometimes I'm just like, this is the perfect time to use this knot or hitch right here. Right? This is the perfect example of that I can use the trucker's hitch and get some nice strong tension in there, right? Strong tension that I can still undo after, right? It's not like some sort of knot that I can undo, right? Because like I said, I don't like to cut cordage if I don't have to, alright? If I don't have to. I don't like cutting cordage if I don't have to. I mean, like, yeah, there is time and place, right? I get it. I get it, right? Just because, right? But, something like this, like I said, right? I can still undo. I'm actually... One of these days, I should actually try... I put an Alpine butterfly loop in, like, something like this. And pull something much heavier. That will actually, like, cause this to tighten up. Right, and see if I can still undo it. Like, even right now, let me use my harmonica to some tension, right? Huh. You know what this is reminding me of, everyone? Tug of war. Right? Like, right? Oh, I'm trying not to, like, hit my camera and knock it down or something like that. Next thing you hear is like, CR, are you okay? Because we just heard big racket. Oh, okay. I better not overdo this. I feel like I'm pulling with the harmonica. I feel like I might break it. But yeah, this is in there. And this is still... I could still undo that. Right? I could still undo that. Because I think... If I remember right, the Alpine butterfly loop... All the tension... All the pressure's over here, right? Because if you look at it, right, a lot of the tension's right here, or the pressure reduces the pressure of the friction right here, right? I mean, that's why you obviously dress it up, but that's why it's relatively easy to undo. I mean, I remember seeing this video where people used an Alpine butterfly loops, right? In spaced out, right, to make some sort of rudimentary ladder, right? And they used it to climb with, and afterwards, they were undoing their Alpine butterfly loops and reclaiming the cordage after, right? And basically, this is what I'm doing in the same way, just in a small miniature version, right? But they were putting their body weight on it because they were actually using these loops, these fixed loops, right, as like handholds, right, for climbing, right? That's what they were doing it for, right? Like, I'm pretty sure they actually did it, right? Because it's just like, because you could tell that they're, putting their weight into it, right? Because they're stepping into something like this and be like, and going like that, right? So, I think that's another reason why I wanted to learn this and actually not only learn it, but actually apply it too, right? Because a lot of the time, like, when I see it, it's just like, oh, for climbing and stuff like that. And I'm like, or that other thing is, like, you know, if there's a fray in this or some sort of issue right here, I can bypass that, right? Bypass that, for example, right? But I've been using it for different reasons. I found out some other reasons. I'm like, to shorten this without actually having to cut it. And I can still have that length available to me, right? You know, if this had to go around something, right? Like, for example, I can still have access to the full length if I needed to. Right? I think this is another reason I kind of like the Alpine Butterfly loop or not, is because I can shorten the line without actually necessarily cutting it, right? Which also means I can actually still use it. I mean, honestly, something like this, right? I'm not going to be able to get, like, let's say if I have a top line or something like that. Yeah, I can't get around that because there's a knot in there, right? But, you know, like if I put under, let's see, right here, right? Let's just say, like, I can't believe I have the brake line in there still. Like, if I put another taut line in here, right? Right? Yeah, and dress it up and all that cool jazz, right? Dress that up, right? Yeah, I can't make it that small because my Alpine Butterfly knot's in there, right? I mean, so I can't quite do it like that, but some other things I can use it for, like I said, still, right? Shorten the line without necessarily cutting it, provided I don't actually have to put something else in there. What is my time? Yeah, okay. Yep. 16 minutes. It's quarter to. You know what's funny? I actually ended last night's stream at this time, didn't I? I'm pretty. Yeah. So I'm actually going longer than I did the last time. That's A-okay by me. Oh, sorry, I gotta reach for somewhere. Like I said, I'm only gonna go to the top tower. I just want to kind of get this done, right? But I do appreciate everyone that's dropping by the way. I do appreciate it, right? I mean, so yeah, like I said, no, I guess I don't actually have to plug in my device. Let's charge it after, whatever. So, yeah. Hopefully that answers the question, Nick. like, I took the long approach on it, but I just wanted to explain it more like that. Some details, some examples, real world examples of me trying to use the stuff too, right? You know what I mean? Like, not to put the light source, the battery in, but it was just, I don't need it in to show it, but something like that, right? Just tie it. Like, I have something else in here. That's the way I attach it, right? Although I may change this. For example. Try to find the middle here. Right? Pretend I put the battery in, right? Oops, sorry. Put it on the other side here. It's the way that I have some areas right here to attach it, right? Oh, you know what's funny? I got a fixed loop at the top now, too. And let me actually put the battery in. Right? Oh, look at that. Sorry. It won't turn on because I have a light over here, but yeah, see? Since I cover it, right? Oh, look at that. If I hang this up high, oh, look at that. on a tent or something like that. You know how they have some sort of loop or something sometimes, right? I can add this to this. Even if it doesn't have a loop, you know what I could do? I could just add like a Lark's head on it, right? I think I actually did do this when I was actually camping the last time, right? Obviously it's not done her on because I have a light overhead. If I bought the sensor, right? Anyway, right? Obviously it's not done turn on because of, well, actually, you know what? Let me turn on the light. See? Alright. And I can go. Actually, you know what's kind of funny? Actually, I might actually do this because I kind of like this. It wasn't even that difficult, and just using something I already had, right? I can hang this up high. Like I feel like I might as well. Here, I'm just gonna do the rest of the stream like this. I'm just gonna hook this onto the little dial for my main light source, right? Look at that. Look at that. Ah, I appreciate it, Nick. Now, see, I feel like I should have known of all this, but I'm like, why didn't I try this before? Oh, look at that. Alright? Hands free. I'm not holding it anymore, right? It's just dangling. I can see what I'm doing and stuff like that. I'm gonna turn back on it a little bit, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Let's put I'll put another one on too. I have another one, right? I'll put another one on. See? Let's put another one on. Right there. Wait the way. Yeah, you recover. Yeah, no. Hey, like I said there, I'm just applying the knowledge, that skill, right? Right? I'm just trying to learn about it, right? Maybe I'm not doing all the knots and hitches exactly right? Maybe it's like, oh, that was supposed to go on the inside, now on the outside, that kind of thing, right? I get it, right? You know, I'm not trying to make a false bowline at times, right? But I'm just doing it, right? I do realize it's like, I know it's a fixed loop, right? You know, and stuff like that, as much as possible. I mean, like, I'll bring it back down again. I'll use the arrow light as an example here. See? Like, look at that. Right? You know what I mean? If it came down to it, right? If it came down to it. Oh, look at that. And I'm hanging it off. I'm using a solar light right now for the lighting for the rest of this time, right? You can see my hands and all that stuff, right? But, I mean, it's just attached to a light, a knob on another light that I was just using, and all it took was a little bit of cordage, a little bit of knowledge, that skill of some hitches or something like that, right? Like, basically, I could just done something like this with, like, a taut line, although I used the Blake line, right? Yeah, you can make an overhand figure 8, right? But I'm using Teflon knot as a fixed loop, but I made an Alpine butterfly loop or not instead, because I can still undo that after, right? And I can adjust, well, I shouldn't say adjust it, but I can undo it and then correct it if I needed more slack or a bigger loop, right? Because I was able to undo it, for example, right? An idea for the next time. How to store paracord without tangling again, asking for a friend. Oh, okay. Hey, I was just trying. Don't worry about that. Because I know, like, something like model filament for, like, fishing line, right? That has a memory, right? You know? I think even some cordage can have a memory, especially if you have it braided in, right? Because you're holding that tension in, right? Like, I've noticed it before when I've undone some of the bracelets at times, right? Or whatever, or the braids. I'm like, yeah, I can tell, right? Because it's been under that constriction or that pressure for a while, right? So, yeah. Yeah, about 9 minutes. Alright? This is nice. Just late night chit chat. Alright? CR time, and I'm using a solar light as part of the option while I'm actually doing it, right? And I can move it around and see all the stuff that I have to do, right? Now that I think about it, I actually might. Oh, I'm not that. well, I use this course for something else, but I'm actually thinking maybe I actually should do this as an option, right? If absolutely necessary, right? Because I know, like, a lot. One thing is, like, you know, I don't need to see the ceiling in the dark. I do need to see the ground, though, right? I don't want to be stepping on something. I don't want to hit my toe against the wall or the edge, the corner of the fridge, the table. I don't want to step on some random Lego on the ground or something like that or whatever, right? Or I don't want to step on some battery that's on the ground and slip on it, right? Because it rolls underneath me. It's like boop, right? Like it'd be like this. It'd be like ah, right? It would just slide out and yeah, right? Because I didn't see it. All right. I'm not saying I have Lego on the ground, but you know what I mean. Because I know other people out there, they get, like, stuff on the ground or whatever, right? It's like, so, like, in a power outage or something like that, or even camping, right? Or something like that. Or it could be as simple as, hey, we broke, the breaker, broke up, the fuse went out on one of the breakers, right? And you just need to see until in the meantime, right? Yeah, that's not the time to like stub a toe or something like that and make things worse. It's just like, and all you hear is like, out of nowhere, like from the room, it's like, ah, damn it! I'm like, what happened? I stubbed my toe, right? Yeah, you want to avoid that, right? I don't think that's like a good sign, right? That probably doesn't add to the stress of the situation, right? Right, that kind of pain. And some of us know what we mean, right? I've done it too. At times. Even during the day, just because I misjudged the distance, right? I thought I had a little bit more distance. I'm like, no, I'm actually closer to the wall than I think. Like, right? I think it might be more serious if you get older, right? Right? I mean, like, yeah, what happened to your foot, CR? Don't ask, man. Don't ask. Right? You know, one of those things is like, okay. I guess he must have stubbed his toe against the wall or something along the lines of that, right? Yeah. I think there's a time and place for it, right? For, like, though I used to actually go for that. I used to actually wear them more frequently, right? And yeah, you can put them on you, right? But I mean, I didn't mind the flatness of the cobalt weave and stuff like that, but I also realized, like, it's probably gonna be in that form for a long period of time, right? Because it's not in a relaxed state, like, just spooled up, right? Or around a circle or whatever, right? It's locked into this, right? I mean, it's one thing you're braiding it for strength, right? Right? For example, right? But it's totally different to braid it for wearing purposes. I think people wear it around the wrist or whatever, so they have a version of one, right? Right. Like, I just, in my opinion, if I'm gonna make a bracelet for that reason, I might as well have one that's quick deploy, right? So I can still access the cordage if I need to, without taking this time to undo like a cobalt weave that I actually can't deploy as fast compared to a zipper chain sinin. All I have to do is just undo a few things on the zipper chain sinin, right? I mean, like, where's my air cordage here? I gotta remember I'm like sitting in the dark. Right. Yes, see, I have something here. I can't find it, but yeah, right? Because I can just undo it, right? Because that's what I like about it. When I originally learned it, right? Because I was originally learning it to braid porn, right? But I also realized that it's also useful for other reasons too, right? And I just like it because, like, it's easier to undo. It's a quick deploy. It's not that complicated to set up. Like, I can actually braid the zipper chain in it without looking now, right? It's like, yeah. Because it's just a repetitive pattern, right? It's not as complex of a pattern compared to, like, a cobalt weave type of braid, right? They have their pluses and minuses, pros and cons, right? a zipper chainsaw is usually rounder, right? It's not as flat compared to like if you're using it to make a bracelet. Like I do have one that's in a cobra leaf style, right? Have I done it since? No. Have I really learned how to braid that? Not really, because I don't use it that much. But the zipper chainsaw, yeah, I know that like the back of my hand. Hey, speak of the back of my hand, what is on the back of my hand? Oh, I know what's on the back of my hand. The time. Because it's almost that time, isn't it? Oh yeah, it's definitely almost that time. 2-minute warning on this stream. I appreciate everyone dropping by and sharing some time with me here on this live stream. Wait. Okay. Alright. I appreciate everyone dropping by. Yes, I think that's the most important thing of anything, right? Trying to apply it to what you're doing, alright? See if it actually helps you, right? And if it helps you, well, maybe it'll help you once again the next time a similar problem happens, right? Like, I've actually, it's just like, yeah, like, you know, you have a piece of line, cordage, whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to be fur cord or whatever, right? Some sort of line. Like, people that have, like, their trunk of their vehicle. I've seen a cab do that. I've seen other people do it on their front side of their vehicle, right? Because it doesn't lock in. And, you know, because the mechanism or whatever, right? Until they can get back home with proper tools, right? So they tie it down, right? Something like a quick deploy, something you can add tension onto it afterwards. Like, the tumble hitch, the going around something and then adding some tension in because you have a friction type of hitch, like the taut line hitch, right? The quick deploy at the start of it, or quick release, like the tumble hitch, right? And boom, next thing you know, oh, hey, I can get the trunk down lower, but I can still undo this, but I can still access it. All I have to do is pull the quick release, undo that, and do all this other stuff, right? And then next thing you know, it's already out of the way, and you can use it again, right? So I think I'm just gonna turn on my camera here. Just make it easier. That's how I'm gonna finish the stream. That's why. And I actually don't turn my light back on. Oh, on the bright side, my solar light automatically turns off. And yes, it is in my hands right now. Man, I actually should do this. This is actually... Yeah, I should actually do this. Of all things, I can't believe I never tried this, but... Or maybe I've wanted to, but I just never really did it, but... So, like, always... No, sorry, I almost forgot I had something on my hand. Yeah, I got like 30 seconds. So, yeah, do something awesome out there. And remember, everyone, I will try to do one more stream for this weekend. Alright? And, you know, maybe someone will show up in the nick of time once again, like always, right? And I'm not talking about Guardian. GP's awesome, but I'm talking about some other guy. Oh, wait, this guy right here, right? This right there what has the 2 and a 5 and a 6 and 7 in there, right? Right? When he's on time, he's definitely on the nick of time, right? You know? Because I may do a more specific topic. I'll see. Right? And it is the top of the hour now, so like always I want to do something awesome. Because things are changing out there, but we still got some time to adapt to. Apply that skill and that knowledge the best that you can and gain some experience with it, right? And when possible, try to help someone out there with what you got. It doesn't always have to be with gear, right? Sometimes it's just a little bit of knowledge to help them out, right? They already had the gear. It's just reapplying the knowledge. Because, hey, I can use this taut line hitch or tumble hitch or Fairmont friction hitch or this trucker's hitch to get some leverage, or right? And you can still be able to undo it. Alright, everyone, take care, and we'll see you on the next live stream or video. I appreciate everyone dropping by. Later, everyone. Night.